Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Extreme Motorsports All-Star Race presented by Trak-Racer. Yeah, I'm Hunter Sleppy, lead announcer for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series and tonight's All-Star Race. And joining me, as always, in the production coordinator booth, it's Harold Darner. Harold, how's it going?
Feel pretty good, man. This is like dark now, man. It was like we actually went to nights. The lights are out, and we got the neon lights coming out for the Extreme Motorsports All-Star Race.
Yeah, you see the pink and blue neon lights there, as you can see the All-Star Race for Extreme Motorsports 99 presented by Trak-Racer. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us earlier for the All-Star Open. And that was a caution-free race. And you can see some of the names here that are inside the top 10. Let's go ahead and look and see. One of the names that made it to the All-Star race through the Open, Pierce Maffitt. He finished 6th place in the Open, and he's right now 3rd fastest on the chart with a 29.150. Just really shows. And then also the 97 of Dennis Weeks. He's currently 5th. Jim Duda 8th. Michael, the 3 car. I'm trying to find his name. He ran the 3 in the Open, but he's not in the same car number right now. That's just a few of the names. Also the 29 of Douglas Newbigging. 3 of the drivers that made it in the Open are in the top 10 in practice speeds right now. So it just shows that sometimes drivers from the Open tend to have an upper hand on the competition, such as the All-Star race tonight. You can see we have 7 minutes left in the practice session. It's a good view of, that's behind Colossus, I believe. There we go. There we got some on-track action going on.
I think the cameraman went out and got a pizza.
I about joined the cameraman out for a pizza. Not sure what that was, but I'm back. And yeah, we have about less than 7 minutes left in this practice session. Currently looking at the top of the chart. It's excuse me. Sorry if I butcher any of these names. Bryce Sensack. He's currently 1st right now with a 29.140. You can see on the left that these lap times are close. Very, very close. 2nd is the 67 of William Hartman with a 29.147. We got some conundrums going on in the back. Right now we're currently on the 09. That is Sensack. Currently the fastest. 6 minutes left in this practice session. And we mentioned earlier the 41 of Pierce Maffitt. Currently 3rd. He made it through the Open. 4th is Mike Rominger. Mike Rominger. A lot of these names that I'm not real familiar with, as I only do the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series, Harold and I. And Jacob Bell, who's also part of the broadcast, could be stopping by tonight. I know he's got a few personal things going on, but he may make it to tonight's event. He's another one of us, another one of the crew that does the late model series.
Yeah, the 3 of us have a little bit of fun time, and then you guys do a really good job in the box while I basically make sure the cameramen stay awake and don't get those pizzas.
We don't want to make no pizza on the job, because then nothing's going to get done. As we see on the leaderboard, there is 14 of GT Hawkins. He's about dominant in anything that he drives, whether it's the Cup or the Xfinity Series. He is dominant in it. Currently 6th right now on the practice chart, though. We have less than 5 minutes to go in the practice session. Want to see if anyone can predict the winner of tonight's All-Star race in the chat. So put your predictions in the comments below, and we'll look through the chat and see which one of you guys picks the correct winner.
Hey, we usually do the picking. We didn't do that in the Open, so we really don't know these guys, but we might have to throw our picks in there. Now, we've done a decent job on the late model side, even though I keep picking a dark horse and he keeps seeming to find in the dark horse.
Which ones are going to be tonight? Or is it too early to tell?
It's still too kind of early. I'm kind of like the new Douglas Dubing from the one of the drivers from the Open earlier.
Yeah, it could very well be one of the guys from the Open. And the one that's really shocked me is Pierce Maffitt, currently third right now. He was in the back half of the top 8 that advanced. He still showed good speed to be in the top 8, but nothing like the top 4 or 5 guys. And there you see him right now with a 29.150. His last lap was a 29.229. So gotta be thinking that he may be doing a qualifying run.
Possibly.
Very well could be. We have a little over 3 minutes left in this practice session. Now, the reason we mentioned that he could be doing a mock qualifying run is because there is some money on the line for tonight's All-Star race, not just in the race, but in qualifying as well. As the pole winner going to take home $25. So if you are a pole, if you're the pole sitter for the All-Star race, then you're going to be already walking away with some cash. But first place, going to be walking home with the biggest prize of them all. So we got to look out for that. There's Jim Duda. He was also one of the drivers that advanced from the Open. Currently 8th on the charts right now with the 29.203.
I love the dude on the side of the car.
Oh, yeah. We're looking through the chat. I believe Josh Medlock has joined us. He's the lead announcer for Extreme Motorsports from all the way from ARCA up to Cup. And Dawson Miller, who was in our chat earlier. Oh, there's Matthew Robinson going for a little spin.
He's gonna need a backup car.
Dawson Miller says that Jacob Bell is on the way, so we could be getting the third part of our group together for this broadcast. There's Tyler Hallman, another one of the drivers to advance through the Open. I believe he was the last of the top 8 to advance. He's currently 17th right now on the charts with that 29.255. Not that bad. It's just all the times are condensed, as you see on the left side of the screen, just how close all these guys are.
That's pretty good there, man, with a 2/10 down to the bottom.
Yeah, all the way to the bottom. All these guys are dialed in. They're getting their cars dialed in for, could be a qualifying run, could be a race run. So we have about a minute left before qualifying. Again, those last sets of laps in with their current tires, new tires, could be anything. We want to remind everyone watching that the Extreme Motorsports All-Star Race is presented to you by Trak-Racer. Trak-Racer core business now lies in the design, engineering, and development and production of premium quality for fit-for-purpose game simulators. Game simulators are not only designed to function as true-to-life simulators should, but simulators that will stand the test of time and become a talking point of anyone's home, office, or showroom. Visit www.trakracer.com and use coupon code JWRacing to receive a 5% discount on all products. That's www.com. Well, nope, spoke too soon. www.trakracer.com. Coupon code JWRacing for a 5% discount. A big shout out and big thank you to Trak-Racer for sponsoring tonight's events. Got a little ahead of myself there with the website. Here's our leaderboard for practice, presented by America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan. Bryce Senesac is first, and you can see that just how close the times are with each other. William Hartman second, Pierce Moffitt third. Fourth will be Mike Rominger. And the 97 of Dennis Weeks going to be fifth right now, and I believe we just got our third piece of the group.
Oh yeah, I ran up here as quick as I could. I literally just got out of the ballpark, had to make it in time for the All-Star race, man. I'm like all over the place, but I'm happy to be here.
That is Jacob Bell, the right-hand man of me for the Rick Hot Sauce Late Model Series and for tonight's All-Star Race. We're just looking at the practice speeds. Practice just concluded here for the Trak-Racer 250. We went over the top 5, so 6th through 10th, it's going to be GT Hawkins, Brendan Book, Jim Duda, Michael Lark, and Douglas Newbigging. We see some love going on in the chat. We appreciate everyone watching. 11th place is Rick Christensen. 12th is Ed Morris. 13th, Rob Haynes. He was the winner of the All-Star Open. 14th is Darren Bruce. 15th, Justin Michael. And 16th through 20th is going to be David Elliott, Tyler Hallman, Lane Doyle, James Shane Wolf, and Sebastian Taylor. A few of those names that we are familiar with in the Rick's Hot Sauce series. So I believe they're putting down qualifying laps right now. We just saw Ed Morris to the top of the charts. Taking a look at the 09 of Bryce Senesac. He was the fastest for this practice session. Currently 5th right now, but Justin Michael in the 87 at the top of the charts.
Yeah, Justin's really impressed me so far in the Rick 110 Cup Series. He's always one of those guys who qualifies up towards the front. He's ran extremely strong. He's got the Trak-Racer scheme on tonight with JW Racing. I'd keep an eye on that 87 for the rest of the night, Hunter. He's a force to be reckoned with in these Cup cars.
We should mention that there's a prize stake on the line for the qualifying position. The pole sitter wins $25 tonight, so currently that $25 would go to Justin Michael.
Yeah, that's a great point.
There's
a lot
the
of these
29
guys,
of Douglas Newbigging.
A lot of these guys, Hunter, throughout the course of their iRacing career in Extreme Motorsports, they really kind of just focus on getting into that top 12 and getting that bonus point. But tonight, like you just said, $25 going to the pole sitter tonight. And look at that, the 29 of Douglas Newbigging, the teammate of Justin Michael, goes to the top of the charts.
Didn't I say something about him?
Oh, I think you did, Harold. I think you did. I mentioned something about him earlier, but that was in the Open, not in this one. But you did mention about him. There he is. He's
29 raced his way in through the Open. That's interesting.
Yeah, he placed it sixth in the Open.
Brendan Book, the winner from Iowa earlier in the Cup Series, and also a former ARCA Series champion. So Brendan's definitely worked his way up through the ranks. He's here in the All-Star race tonight at Texas. Awesome camera work from Harold, man. I've been missing a lot tonight, it looks like. But that 5 car's looking good as he's getting ready to go on track. He's making his qualifying lap here. I think he's coming to the green flag. I could be wrong. Yeah, so he's just now starting his qualifying run in that number 5 Chevrolet for GT Motorsports. But Brendan's another one of those guys, man. He's sneaky. He kind of, he sneaked up on GT Hawkins at the end of the race there at Iowa. I'd keep an eye on the 5 car. He's another one that I think is going to have a really, really strong shot at winning this massive first tonight for the All-Star race.
Chart right now, Rob Haynes, the winner from the All-Star Open, just put it second on the board. Brendan Book coming out of turn 4 is going to put that 5 car. It's a 29.594. So now it's good for 14th right now on the chart. Well, nope, looked on the wrong one. 22nd on the chart. So look at that, Michael Larkin, the 3. Looking at a lap time. We have less than about 30 seconds left in practice. There's Darren Bruce. That's another one of the All-Star Open entries that made it to the All-Star Open, or All-Star race. He's currently 8th right now with a 29.314.
Well, Hunter, I wanted to ask you about that. With a lot of these guys running in the Open, they already ran their 60 laps earlier in the night. Pretty much makes for a good test session for the All-Star race. Do you think there's going to be an advantage for a lot of those guys that were in the Open and raced their way into the All-Star race?
I think they'll have more of a feeling, or more of an adaptive feeling of the racetrack. Like Douglas Newbigging in the 29. Qualifying's over, and he just pocketed an extra $25 before we even take the green flag. Actually, the front row, it's Douglas Newbigging and Rob Haynes. Those two raced their way into the Open. Rob Haynes won the Open, and they're putting that advantage to the front. Putting the advantage to the front as they currently hold the top 2 spots. Third's going to be William Hartman in the 67. The 87 of Justin Michael going to be 4th. Jake mentioned him earlier. Keep an eye on him. And GT Hawkins, the guy who wins in about everything he races in, currently 5th.
And David Elliott going to qualify 6th here tonight in that number 42. 7th, his teammate Ed Morris, owner of Primetime Motorsports. Starting 8th is going to be Darren Bruce in the 03. Like Hunter mentioned earlier, raced his way in through the Open. Dennis Weeks is going to roll off 9th in the 97. And rounding out the top 10, reigning ARCA Series champion Lane Doyle.
To Sebastian Taylor, that's a familiar name with the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. The 24 of Garrett Grant going to be 12th. 13th is Bryce Senesac. James Shane Wolf, 14th. That's another name familiar with us. And the 15th spot will be Michael Art.
16th, Brendan Book. Like I said, I'd keep an eye on him tonight. He's going to sneak up there and possibly grab a good chunk of change here tonight. Starting 17th, Justin Lemke, who actually got his first career pole in Extreme Motorsports 2 weeks ago at Atlanta. Starting 18th, a multi-time Cup Series champion, Mike Rominger in the number 9. He's been around Extreme probably longer than anybody else in the field. Keep an eye on that number 9, Mike Rominger. Pierce Moffitt's going to roll off 19th for the All-Star race, and rounding out the top 20, the number 12 of Michael Thwaites.
Thwaites was another driver that raced his way through the Open. The 21st spot will be Tyler Hallman. That's another one that raced through the Open. Matthew Robinson, 22nd. Jim Duda, 23rd. And Rick Christensen, 24th. And he did not put down a lap time. He was the only one to not put down a lap time. So that is our rundown presented by America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan. There's those cool-looking graphics.
Their 15-minute driver meeting. We actually had some admins volunteer tonight to come up into the booth and help run the show pretty much and make a lot of the tough calls that they're going to have to do tonight. So we'll get a chance to check in with them. I want to thank a couple of the people we see down here in chat. We've actually had a few subscriptions, Hunter, so you must be doing something right. When I wasn't gone, you must have been running the show smoothly. We had a few guys chiming in with their Twitch Prime and a subscription to the channel. Of course, with the subscription, you get ad-free viewing for the entire month that you are subscribed. So you'll get to watch, the All-Star race tonight. You'll get to see the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series every Sunday night ad-free, as well as our Fueled Fridays show presented by Country Road Sports Cards. So it's definitely something to check out if you can with the subscription services. It helps all of us here at Extreme quite a bit. So I just wanted to give a special shout out to those guys. And man, we're getting closer to the All-Star race. I'm getting excited.
Excited just for the Open. I'm even more excited for the All-Star race.
Yeah, the Open, I was able to catch a little bit of it here and there. It looked like a really, really good show. And man, I think it's awesome that a lot of these guys were able to race their way in, not necessarily qualified in, ahead of time. They had to kind of grind it out and fight for those top 8 spots. But they're in the show nonetheless, and they're going to get a chance to go out at a purse of over $425 here tonight. Want to thank a few of our sponsors that were able to put up the purse. Obviously, Trak-Racer helping us out a ton here tonight and putting up a good chunk of change for these guys. I believe I saw GT Motorsports and Primetime Motorsports as well putting up some money for tonight's event. So Jake Bustos, I think, was another one of those guys. So I just want to say thanks to all the people who helped out here tonight. I got to thank Harold and Hunter as well. By the way, you guys filling in for me. You guys did an awesome job earlier. I'm happy to be here. And I think we'll get a chance to chat with a couple of these guys before we get to the green flag here later tonight. I think we actually have the CEO of Trak-Racer here in our Discord. We're going to get a chance to talk to him before we get the green flag here. So we'll work out some of those details, but we're going to take a really, really quick a break here on the Twitch channel, run an ad, and we'll try to get things set up here to see if we can get to the chance to talk to the owner of Trak-Racer.
Trak-Racer provided us with the Trak-Racer 90, the All-Star Open that went caution-free. Had some pretty good racing there, and now they present us with the Trak-Racer 250. So it's 250 miles at Texas.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long All-Star race, but a lot of these guys having little to no experience in the Cup cars. I'm kind of interested to see if we're able to take this thing all the way green, or if we end up with a few cautions, because the recent trend in the Cup Series the last few races has been caution-free race, and I'm wondering if that's what we're going to see here tonight. So we'll have to we'll just have to wait and see. As I think they are still in their drivers' meeting ahead of tonight's ahead of tonight's All-Star race. So we're going to give them a few more minutes to get set up, and we'll try to get set up with the owner of Trak-Racer.
It was pretty interesting earlier, though. Hunter. The caution free makes it kind of, like I said. I think really the advantage is to the guys that raced into the open because they really know what their cars are going to do on a long run and how that was it 30 or 67 laps. They about 30. They split it in half basically, and they know how their tires are going to work on about a 30+ run.
Yeah. In the All-Star Open, I forget his name, but we saw a driver go 45 laps without pitting. So I would assume that pit stops, if they stayed green the whole way, it would be made around lap, could be as early as lap 35 and definitely as late as lap 45, maybe even later, closer to lap 50. But they had 2 tire sets in that Open, and tonight we have 4 tire sets for the All-Star race. It's 167 laps, so you got to manage your tires well, and if you manage it right, then you can, if you stretch it to 45, then I think you'll have a set of tires left for after the race.
Yeah, the also, we're talking about the track temperatures and stuff. So right now it's 10:30 here in Texas, which got warmer, 74 degrees. I don't understand
I think I see the owner of Trak-Racer. If you want to try to track him down in here, Harold, and we can get in a few words with him to see what his company's all about. Matt, you got a copy? Can you hear us, buddy?
I can.
Hey, man. So, owner of Trak-Racer, really appreciate you stepping in and helping sponsor the All-Star race tonight. For all the viewers out there that are wondering what the heck is Trak-Racer, kind of give them a rundown of what you guys do.
Well, I'd like to hope that people aren't saying that, but yeah, we've been making racing simulators for the last 12, 13 years. We now operate out of 7 countries, so we're probably one of the bigger manufacturers globally.
That's awesome, and I like I said, thank you guys so much for helping out with the event tonight. Of course,
Pleasure.
we see a few of the Trak-Racer cars already on track, and a couple of them qualifying really well. The 29 of Douglas Newbigin being on pole, Justin Michaels starting 4th. Kind of tell us about your relationship you formed with JW Racing. We obviously see you guys are a very big supporter of them.
Well, it's kind of all blossomed from an initial sale to Justin Rideout. So yeah, he's been a great support, and he loves the product. So it's a good relationship.
That's awesome. So let everybody know where they can find Trak-Racer so they can go ahead and get them a new sim rig and what kind of details you can give them about where they can find their new simulator.
Well, all of our rigs are on Trak-Racer.com. And if you're not in the US, then you'll get a redirection to another country domain. There's lots of new products coming on. We're launching our F1 GT hybrid at the UK Grand Prix in conjunction with Alpine F1. They're partners of ours. We've also got Motion coming this year. We're new distributors for SimuCube. There's lots going on.
It's awesome, man. I mean, I feel like I said it 3 times already, but thank you guys so much. It's honestly, it's so cool to see, brands that actually are in sim racing, supporting, sim racing leagues and communities like ours. So we can't thank you enough, and we're super happy to have you guys out here tonight.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
Hey, Matt, before I let you go, man, this is Harold. I'm the producer for these guys, and I put it in the open. I actually run the triple monitor from you guys with a stand with a 4th monitor, and I was telling people in the open, I could not do what I do without having all these monitors within eyesight for what I do for producing these events.
Strangely enough, there's there was a bit of a VR. Everyone was kind of jumping on the bandwagon of VR probably a year or 2 ago, and now everyone's returning back to triples, which is good for us. And I also prefer triples.
Yeah, I went VR. Yeah. I went VR as well and switched back. Definitely a difference there.
Yeah. What are you running there? 27s, 34 ultra wide, or?
I got LG 27s for the triples and a 32-inch Samsung ultra wide on top that I do all the comms with.
Oh, beautiful.
I said one heck of a product. I mean, you helped me out. We had a small issue with shipping, and you were right back there to help us out. And I tell people quite a bit that your products are actually great and a lot easier to put together than I initially thought.
Yeah, well, we had a like all like any brand, I guess. Last year we had a bit of a tough ride. We were let down by shipping carriers and warehouses, but we've resolved all that. So I'm sorry you had some issues, but if you give us another chance, I'm sure you won't.
Oh, it wasn't a dig at all. Trust me.
Yeah.
I think I told we actually had somebody in shipping take a part out of the box, and it was nothing of it. You could have done anything about that.
Yeah, it happens. It's interesting what goes on between our warehouse and the customer. So,
but your product's a great product, and I'm glad you're on board here with us tonight.
thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. Hopefully we'll put on a good show and let a lot of people get their eyeballs on Trak-Racer and send a lot of people over your way. But again, thanks for coming up here and chatting with us for a little bit.
I appreciate that. Thank you, guys, and thank you, Justin, if you're listening.
I'm sure he is. We'll let him know. So that is Matt
cheers.
Stein, the owner of Trak-Racer. Can't thank those guys enough for everything they've been doing out here tonight for the first ever Extreme Motorsports 99 All-Star Race. Just a few minutes away from getting this thing started, Hunter. I know you obviously were holding it down, running the All-Star Open, calling that event. A lot of these guys who we see up front are going to be these guys that we just watched race their way in about an hour and a half ago. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how the experience from the practice session they had just an hour and a half ago plays up against the likes of Cup Series champions like GT Hawkins, Mike Rominger, a lot of these guys. I'm kind of curious how it's going to play out.
Take a look at our track indicator, our track temp, weather temp, all that. It was 74 degrees. Oh, it's still 74 degrees. The track temp 74 degrees. It got warmer.
That's how I said it got warmer. I don't know what happened. It's like
I don't know how it
down. It gets hotter in Texas. I don't understand.
So here's our weather indicators from Lottie'sTravelWorld.com. It's mostly cloudy, even though it's under the lights. It got warmer, 73 degrees. The track temp stayed the same, so that's interesting. Thought it would go down or go up. The humidity dropped down to 34%, and the winds from the south at 15 miles an hour. And I talked with Harold on the open broadcast. Every time we do our Rick's Hot Sauce late model series Sunday nights on Twitch, the winds are always from the north at 2 miles an hour. So it's a little bit refresher to see that the winds are coming from a different direction.
Hunter, I just got a poke from one of the admins who put on this event tonight. Some last-minute breaking news. The purse for tonight's All-Star Race at the last minute has been bumped up to $500, with the winner taking home $350 here tonight. So we got a lot more money at stake. It's gonna be quite the race now. Actually, just sent it home $332 for first place. Second place is going to be $95, and third place is going to be $47.50. So purse gets bumped up at the last minute, and I think that's gonna bump up the intensity a little bit too. I'm looking forward to this, man.
Yeah, I was actually thinking, what if it was an even 500 and we do 350, 100, and then 50? But I guess it came to fruition at the last minute. So
yeah,
that's
Ed Morris, who helped put this event on with GT Hawkins, just sent me that. I jumped into TeamSpeak. I see the little note sitting there. I'm like, oh wow! So I gotta let everybody who's watching know that these guys are now going for even more money than already anticipated for the first ever Extreme Motorsports All-Star Race presented by Trak-Racer. About 10 seconds before these guys start gridding up, and we can take a look at our starting lineup. Everybody down in the chat below, let us know who's your pick to take home the big prize tonight in the All-Star Race. We're about to make ours. We're also about to take you guys through the starting lineup for tonight's 250-mile race, 167 laps at Texas. These guys are about to get gridded up, and we're about to make our picks.
Should be a fun 167 laps tonight at Texas. Any moment, they'll be gridding up, and we'll begin the starting lineup. Presented by Country Road Sports Cards. There it is. Row 1, it's going to consist of 2 drivers that raced their way in through the open. Douglas Newbigging on pole in the 29 and Rob Haynes starting second. He won the All-Star Open.
Third's going to be William Hartman in the 67, a multi-time winner in the Truck Series, as well as a Truck Series champion. Justin Michael is going to be starting fourth in that number 87 car, with Trak-Racer being the sponsor of that machine.
Row 3, it's going to have GT Hawkins starting 5th. He wins in about everything he drives in. And then alongside him, it's David Elliott in the 42, starting 6th.
Ed Morris starting 7th, owner of Primetime Motorsports, and starting 8th for GT Motorsports is going to be Darren Bruce.
Bruce was another driver that raced their way through the open. And another one is Dennis Weeks, going to start 9th in row 5, and Lane Doyle going to be starting 10th with the number 32 car.
Sebastian Taylor is going to start 11th in this event, and outside of him, Garrett Grant driving for Samson Motorsports will start 12th.
Starting in lucky number 13, it's Bryce Sensak in the 09. He was the fastest in our practice session. And in 14th, it's James Shanewoolf in the number 83.
Michael Larch, another one of those JW racing machines, is going to roll off 15th, and starting 16th, Brendan Book, the former Cup Series winner from Iowa just a few weeks ago.
17th, it's going to be Justin Lemke in the 35, and 18th, it's going to be Mike Rominger in the 9.
Pierce Moffitt and Michael Thwaites will round out the top 10 rows, as we got Tyler Hallman, Matthew Robinson, Jim Dutta, and Rick Christensen rounding out our field here tonight. We wanted to run through that starting lineup so we can make our picks here tonight. Hunter, you can go ahead, lead us off. Who you got tonight?
Tough, because there's a lot of good drivers out there. I'm going to go with that 03 of Darren Bruce. Going to go out of the blue. He looked good in the open. Feel like he's going to pick it up in the All-Star race.
All right, who you got, Harold?
I'm going with the guys on the pole who raced his way in here, Douglas Newbigging.
And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put my money on the number 7 of Ed Morris to get it done here tonight. Rolling off 7th in the number 7, owner of Primetime Motorsports. We're getting ready for the green flag here at Texas Motor Speedway. The first ever Extreme Motorsports All-Star race presented by Trak-Racer is green. Really, really good jump there by the 29 of Douglas Newbigging. He's going to jump out to the top spot. Following suit in second place is going to be the 67 of William Hartman. The first battle we see is for third, Justin Michael down low, with Rob Haynes in the number 99 up top.
They fly through 3 and 4, and it looks like Newbigging's going to lead the first lap. But the 67 of Hartman keeping hot pursuit with them. Newbigging leads lap 1.
Hunter, we're getting accustomed to the late model package we see every Sunday night here. Well, we're dealing with the low horsepower, high downforce package here in these Cup cars around Texas. It's almost like another restrictor plate track. These guys are in a big old pack. They're going to be using the draft. They're going to be staying in line and trying to just keep the momentum up. Almost like what you would see at a Daytona and Talladega race, as you see the number 32 there of Lane Doyle settling into the top 10. So good starting spot for Lane, and he's trying to make use of it and make his way towards the front. The reigning ARCA Series champion, looking strong in these Cup cars.
Newbigging looking the strongest, as he just put down the fastest lap. And was just going to say that in the open, we listened to the in-car of the drivers, and there was a little to no off-throttle time. They were just smashing the throttle, even in the middle of the corner, and just goes to show how fast these cars are going at Texas.
Yeah, these things are going to be wide open for about 5 to 10 laps before you really got to start thinking about tire wear. And that's where I think we're going to see the difference tonight between the top pros that we're used to every Thursday night in the Rick Patek Cup Series and a lot of these newer guys. The way they're able to manage their tires, like you'll see GT Hawkins, Rob Haynes, Garrett Grant's a great example of it in the 24. They almost don't even really consider the first 5 or 10 laps going wide open. They try to just bide their time. They're off throttle as much as they can while still trying to maintain their pace with the pack. And then after about 15, 20, 25 laps, when everybody else's tires start starting to fall off, you'll see them start heading towards the front. And you can already see it right now with the 24 of Garrett Grant working on the inside of Lane Doyle for, I believe that's the 9th spot, or maybe that's the 8th spot. So Grant, you can already see the tire management coming into play. That 24 is heading to the front.
Yeah, a lot of interesting strategies here too, because we saw a good bit in the open, like how many drivers pitted early, pitted in the middle. It worked out in some favors, and for others it really didn't. So that's later on in the run. Right now they're just trying to feel out their car and see how well it runs in traffic.
Point, Hunter, like you said, look at the top three, or excuse me, first and third. Those are guys who raced their way in from the open that we were talking about earlier. Those 60 laps that they've already put on their car earlier tonight, they've already been through 2 tire runs in an actual race. There's a big difference between practicing a lot of laps and racing a lot of laps. Your racecraft, how you save tires, that's going to be the key tonight and who's going to be the victor. And I think if we keep an eye on a lot of those guys that I mentioned earlier that are used to this kind of situation, Justin Michael's a great example as well in that 87 car. He's been in the Cup Series this year. He kind of knows what to expect. And we see a lot of Cup guys sprinkled in throughout the top 10. Justin Michael in second, Rob Haynes in third, Jason Hawkins in fifth, Garrett Grant in seventh. I mean, a lot of these guys are cars used to this package because it's completely different than any other car on the iRacing service or even in the NASCAR ranks, our late model series that we run on Sunday night. This is a totally different ball game. As you see the 57 there, who's racing side by side with the 09 of Bryce Senesac. Excuse me, I believe that's actually the 27 of Sebastian Taylor, but it does have a 57 on the side, so.
But that is Sebastian Taylor right behind him.
57 on the car, but it's actually the 27, so let's keep that in mind. You see Bryce Senesac following him. Right behind him is the 5 of Brendan Book, and Mike Rominger running in 16th spot right behind Brendan Book. I think a lot of these guys are just kind of being patient and trying to bide their time until they know the money's really up for grabs.
Yeah, we're not even 10 laps into it, so would think that maybe in a little bit we'll start seeing some moves coming out from the middle of the pack, maybe even the front. But right now, still trying to get a feel of the car. Like a snake pattern too. It's all single file for the most part.
Pretty much throughout the top, I think the entire field is single file. You can kind of see Douglas and being ran down just a slight bit by his teammate Justin Michael in the 87. I mean, overall, if you're JW Racing, you got to be extremely happy with the early parts of this race. As you see Brendan Book looking underneath Sebastian Taylor there in inside of turn 3 there, but you got to be pretty excited if you're Justin Rideout, owner of JW Racing. You get the first season with your brand new team, come out to the All-Star race. You got your guys running 1-2. One of them raced their way into the event. So a good looking race so far for JW Racing and all those guys. As you see the 57 there, Sebastian Taylor looks like he's having a few blinks in and out. So he might be having some connection issues in that 27 car. As Mike Rominger, former Cup Series champion, gets by him on the bottom.
Yeah, Taylor is one of the guys that we keep our eyes out for in the Rick Sauce late model series, and him just being thrown in with a bunch of the top Cup, Xfinity, Truck, and ARCA guys. Really interesting to see the talent level in this All-Star race because it's the top of the top from each series, and right now we're seeing it play out.
Pretty good mixture, yeah. I think it's a good point. You're seeing a mixture. You know, Douglas Liebig is a Truck Series driver. Justin Michael's a Cup Series driver. Then you got William Hartman in third, another one of those Truck Series drivers that's running right up front with these Cup guys. I mean, you got James Shanewell, who's an ARCA driver. Lane Doyle, another ARCA driver. Sebastian Taylor, like you mentioned, a late model driver. So completely different talent pool than we're used to. And a lot of these guys are trying to make their case of why they should be in a higher series or try to make an impressive team get picked up to get moved on up to a higher series. And you've seen a battle there. Right behind the 27 of Sebastian Taylor, you got Matthew Robinson on there. I think you're familiar with him.
With Matthew Robinson, it's only the most dominant driver in the Rick Sauce late model series. Kind of moving his way up to the front, slowly but surely. He's going to get up to the front.
Yeah, just taking a look there at the different lines a lot of these guys are taking around the track. Most of the guys are tucked up against the white line, 2, 3, and 4. The 7 machine there of Ed Morris. Right behind him, you got James Shanewell and Lane Doyle trying to get by him and break their way up in towards the top 5, but Ed's doing a really strong job there. We got a battle for the lead, actually, new leader. How about it? The 87 of Justin Michaels.
We're so excited on the battles in the middle of the pack that we just let the front of the pack go.
Well, a good example of this is exactly what I was trying to say earlier, the tires. This is when they're going to start falling off for a lot of these guys, and you're going to know who pushed it too hard too early. And I promise you, keep an eye on that 24 Garrett Grant. I'm telling you, he's one of the best at just slowly picking his way through the field once everybody else's tires have started falling off. He started 12th tonight. He's already worked his way into the top 5, and I don't think he's done yet. Keep an eye on the 24 Garrett Grant. Brendan Book's another one of those guys who's extremely successful with that. You see he's up 4 spots. And how about James Shingle up 5 spots into the 8th spot?
As for that 8th spot, right now he's got the edge for it.
Really interesting if you kind of watch the way the 24 machine approaches the track. We got a battle for 3rd now. Actually, the 14 of GT Hawkins, who's going to go around the 67 of William Hartman there, so move GT up a spot. And like I said, the tires are falling off for a lot of these guys. I don't think GT's done yet either. He's probably going to go up there, get around this 29 car, and then probably start working his way towards that 87 for the lead. As you see here, off of turn 4, he's going to try to get a good run. 29 of Douglas Newbig really seems to be struggling right now, Hunter, with his tires.
Yeah, it seemed like him being the pole sitter, he wanted to get going early and just go from the start. You mentioned Michael in the 87. He one of the better drivers at saving tires and preserving them. Felt like maybe starting on the pole was a little bit too much for Newbigging as far as tire saving, because he's about to get passed right now. GT Hawkins in the 14.
And that right there is the difference. You see GT is able to get the drive off the corner and keep his car towards the bottom of the racetrack. Not so much the case for the 29, who's on those more worn out tires, we could guess. Kind of tried to get off the corner as hard as he could. Almost got to the long end there off of turn 2. So he's going to be struggling until we get down to pit road and put a new set of tires on that number 29 car. He's heading the wrong way. The 14 and the 24, however, are heading up towards the front.
Grant's still in the 5th spot. Still got some close battles here. Just interesting to see there. That's the 5 of Brendan Book, as you mentioned earlier. He's passed Ed Morris. Ed Morris was running 7th or 8th a few laps ago. Now he's fallen back to 12th.
Yeah, Ed Morris is kind of struggling, going the wrong direction. He is a former Cup Series driver. He's made his way back down into the Truck Series. That's where he's found his home. And he's running with the likes of William Hartman there. So maybe the off time in between the last time he's ran a Cup car could be coming into effect a little bit. And you see him struggling with the tire wear. As you see someone like Brendan Book, who's brand new to the Cup Series, working his way to the front. I think experience is going to be key tonight to how these guys manage their cars, how they manage their tires, and pretty much how they are able to last on these really, really long runs. I'm kind of shocked. 21 laps on the board, no caution so far.
For one, I'm not shocked, because we went 60 laps caution-free in the Open earlier, and I'm feeling they could go 60 laps caution-free again, at least 60 laps.
Well, that's kind of the trend in these Cup cars. The last 2 races, we have not had a single caution flag in the Cup Series. Garrett Grant now working on the inside of William Hartman. We got a battle there for 4th as they're coming through turn 2 right now, side by side, door to door. Looks like Grant's going to start pulling him on the back straightaway and move his way into the 4th spot in that 24 car. And then he's got his sights set on the number 29 car of Douglas Newbigging. But yeah, Hunter, the cautions have not been a current theme in the Cup cars. These things go green. These races are long. It is hard mentally, physically a little bit. You gotta, keep focused for, almost an hour and a half, almost 2 hours at some of these tracks without a caution flag. So it's a different type of racing. Keep an eye on pit road. See who's, good getting into the pit stops, who's good getting off the pit road. Speeding penalties are going to be a killer here tonight, especially like you said, if this race doesn't go green all the way.
We saw in the chat there, Jeremy Knapp, he was in the All-Star Open. He said that he had bad luck in his pit stop, so maybe it was a speeding penalty that got him, or he just slid his box too early.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Even something like sliding through your box, that's going to cost you 10, 15 seconds perhaps on the racetrack. And with these cars being so, like you said, wide open the first 10 laps, it's really hard to find those extra few tenths a lap to try to make your way up to the front. As we got a battle here going on for 3rd between the 29 and the 24 off of turn 4.
He had his bumper.
He's working on him as he's going to have to check up there. And now the 67 of William Hartman's going to try to get by on top. We also got a battle up front for the lead brewing. GT Hawkins is on the back bumper of Justin Michael now.
He is all over that bumper of Michael.
Yeah, these
Not
two
letting him
are
get
no
away.
strangers. These two are no strangers to racing each other in the Cup cars, especially at these mile-and-a-half tracks. Michael doing a good job though so far in this one. He's ran a really, really conservative line that's kind of helped his tires last as long as they have, but he's gonna have to hold off one of the best in GT Hawkins, and it's gonna be a tough task.
GT wins at about everything he drives in, so it wouldn't surprise me if he just comes out and just flat out dominates this All-Star race.
Well, he hasn't led the first 26, so that's a good start for a lot of players.
Still riding on board the 87 of Justin Michael. That's a cool looking camera shot. Thanks, Arrow.
I do agree with you there. If GT gets the lead, I would start getting a bit nervous if I found one of these other guys. But then again, a caution could change everything. We're still pretty early into this one. 27 laps down, so what, 140 to go. So these guys are going to have a pit stops to get through. You said earlier you think the fuel window's around 40 to 45 laps?
Yeah, the latest that a driver went was 45 laps.
Okay, so a lot of these guys on the early end are going to try to come down probably around lap 37. And that's another thing to watch that's going to be key on these pit stops. When they do hit pit road, if they come early, like let's say, 10 laps early, they're going to make up a bunch of time. That's just Garrett Grant working on the 29 for 30. He's actually going to complete the pass there. If they come early down on the pit road, they'll make a bunch of time up, and they'll be, 2, 3, 4 seconds ahead of whoever they were racing with. But then on the back end of the run, when their tires fall off quicker than the guys who have pitted later, you kind of see that difference, play out right in front of us. So let's keep an eye on who hits pit road early and who stays out. As GT Hawkins not making a move yet. Hunter is kind of riding behind that 87 car.
Just about to say, it looked like Hardman was about to pass the 29 there of Newbigging. Got close to him, but I guess the entry into turn 3 must have thrown him off.
Yeah, especially with we saw it earlier when we were riding on board with GT Hawkins, just how quick the passes really happen in these Cup cars. It's just one little mistake by trying to get off the corner a little too high. You get close to a wall, you got to check up, and the next thing you know, you're going to pass like 2, 3, 4 cars on one straightaway. You see the 9 of Mike Rominger here working on the 97 of Dennis Weeks. Kind of throw down a block to the grass. Rominger's not really letting up. He's not taking the bait there. Rominger's just going to go ahead and stick his nose low and try to get that position away.
Beats the pass.
Rominger's a pro, man. He's one of those guys that's going to keep this stuff clean to the very end, and he'll be around to the finish. I guarantee you that. He's very, very experienced when it comes to this type of racing. One thing I kind of am looking at here, Hunter, GT Hawkins has lost track of the 87 a little bit. That lead has actually grown for Justin Michael.
It's about 4 car lengths, getting closer to about half a second out. So I believe he might have scraped the wall there or gotten too close to the wall, and he's just like, okay, gotta stay calm, cool, collected, take it easy.
Well, I think he visibly is backing up his corners, trying to kind of cool off the tires and let Justin Michael's tires fall off first. I think he's trying to preserve his stuff right now. If I had to guess, just from watching visibly, you can kind of see how much he loses time on the entrance of the corner, and then kind of starts making it back up on the straightaways when he's getting to the draft. You see there, Michael kind of growing the lead, and now here comes GT right back. So I think he's just trying to take it easy, but one thing he is doing is letting that 24, Garrett Grant, catch up to him. I mean, once the 24 starts sniffing the draft of GT Hawkins, it won't be long until he's racing for him.
If you look on the top left of the screen, it's going to show the last lap averages amongst the leaders. So there you see lap averages are about the same for Michael and Hawkins, and Grant was about 2 car lengths faster that last lap by.
Gap has kind of stayed the same now for the first and second spot. I'm going to kind of try to keep an eye on pit road here. I'll let you know if I see anybody coming down and getting their 4 tires on fuel yet. I still think we're a little bit early. Like you said, fuel window's about 40 to 45 laps, but we're getting closer to that mark where a lot of these guys can try and get aggressive on their strategy and hit early and make up a lot of time. I'm curious to see if anybody takes that decision, especially with it being the All-Star race. No points on the line. Only thing that matters is getting to the checkered flag first and collecting that $350 check.
Everyone's chasing after.
Damn. I mean, Michael is continuing to grow that lead, though, on the 14th.
gonna say, you see the 24 there, that's Garrett Grant. He is our biggest mover still. He's up 9 spots from this drop of the green flag. The 9 of Mike Rominger, he's up 7 spots. He's up to 11th now. And then the 16th spot, it's Jim Duda. He was another one of the open drivers that made it through, so he's up to 16th right now.
That's an impressive run for Jim Duda. He's a Xfinity Series driver. You know, not known for really winning a lot of these races. He's new to Extreme, but he running pretty strong, man. Up 7 spots into the 16th spot. I was gonna say with Garrett Grant being up, 9 spots, that's a good thing when you start 12th if you're the biggest mover. It normally means you're gonna be up towards the front of the field.
You can see Grant is slowly but surely catching that 14 of Hawkins. He's really taking it easy on the tires.
It's our top 5 here on lap 36 is Justin Michael, GT Hawkins, Garrett Grant, William Hartman, and Darren Bruce rounded out the top 5 here as we are just getting started here in the Extreme Motorsports 99 All-Star Race presented by Trak-Racer.
37 down, still 130 left in this all-star race. Getting closer to the field window.
Yeah, I think in the next few laps here, we're going to see people hit pit road and doing it in quick order to try to make up time. And there we go. We got Ed Morris on pit road already. And the number 7 car, he's just now getting into his box. He is going to be the first one on pit road. And the prime time owner, he is known for changing up his strategy quite a bit. He hits pit road a whole lap or 2 earlier than everybody else. I'm curious how this is going to pay off for Ed Morris.
I was going to say, I think earlier, maybe a lap or 2 earlier, Sebastian Taylor went down pit road because it's showing him 24th a lap down. Yeah, he made it.
Yep.
Yeah, he made a pit stop.
Came down. Yes, he did. He did come out there. Sebastian Taylor, like Hunter pointed out there, he pitted a lap earlier than Ed Morris. So we've seen a few guys take the opportunity to come down and get their service early. That time around, I don't see anybody up front making the move down to pit road yet either.
Thing to see, the pit stop for Taylor was 15 seconds and Ed Morris was 11 seconds. So we can't really see if they're taking 2 tires, 4 tires or not. But Jake, if you had to guess or if you know, what's the difference between Taylor had 15 seconds? Taylor had 15 seconds on this pit stop, and Morris had.
I would
11.
say the 11.5 is a 2-tire stop.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. 11.5 is a 2-tire or no tire stop. Definitely not 4. But Sebastian Taylor with the 15-second mark, that's probably 4 tires and maybe a little bit of damage fix too, to be honest with you. Most of these stops are going to range around the 13, 14-second mark or so.
Only 2 that made down pit road.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked. I really thought more people would jump on this strategy and kind of come get their service early. Nobody comes around that time as we're already going to hit lap 41 now on the board. Still nobody is yet to come down onto pit road other than Sebastian Taylor and Ed Morris.
Hey, Hunter, I think they were watching the Open.
Yeah, some of them might have been watching the Open, seeing, okay, well, if I can go 45 laps, maybe I can stretch to 50.
We just got a call for the 87 of Justin Michael. He's on the pit road from the first spot, so the leader is in, and it's the 87 of Justin Michael on lap 41.
Well, some might stretch it to lap 50.
Hey, we missed that battle between Garrett Grant, by the way, and GT Hawkins. Garrett Grant was actually able to get around them, so he's the new leader here at Texas.
Yeah, he passed him about 5 laps ago, but he made quick and easy work of the 14 of Hawkins.
And now here comes Garrett Grant. 24 is down on the pit road. The race leader again is an early taker of the strategy. GT Hawkins stays out. Here comes a bunch of guys. We got the 29 of Douglas Newbegging in. The 83 of James Shingloff gets in really hot on the pit road. The 9 of Mike Rominger, the 12 of Michael Thwaite, and the 52 of Tyler Hallman all coming down pit road here on lap number 42.
Pit stops, pit road's open, everyone.
Yeah, this is the important part. You got to get your box clean. Look at that. Who is that? I think that's the 9 of Mike Rominger. Missed his box. He's got to put it in reverse down pit road. He's going to lose a lot of time doing that. And now he's too far to the left. He's just, not having a good stop there for Mike Rominger at all. He's not in his box yet, Hunter.
Oh, my goodness. He has definitely seen better days.
Yeah, that's a lot of time he's going to lose there. I mean, we're talking 20 to 30 seconds. Lane Doyle is in, then number 32. The 34 of Matthew Robinson is in on pit road. So a couple of our ARCA and late model series drivers are in. GT Hawkins, again, is going to stay out onto the racetrack. And teammates of William Hartman and Darren Bruce are going to stay out with him as well. The 99 of Rob Haynes, the open winner that Hunter was able to call earlier tonight, he's down on the pit road here on lap 44, and he's in all by himself. Strategy, strategy, strategy is all I can say right now. Oh, Garrett Grant goes around.
He keeps it straight for the most part, but the caution's still going to come out. And that's our first caution in, what, the last 3 races? You said the Cup Series went 2 races without a caution. We went without a caution in the All-Star Open. And now on lap 45, we have a caution right in the middle of pit stops. In the 24, he just got loose.
Yeah, he got loose.
Was that the 97?
97 like Dennis Weeks was, I think Garrett thought he was going to come down on him and kind of made an invasive move to avoid him and kind of just got loose there and wasn't able to save it.
Yeah, I think that 97 coming down on his screen probably was definitely what caused that.
For sure, for sure. I think he was trying to make an evasive move. He wasn't sure exactly what was happening here. We got Harold with a great look at it there. And then once you hit the apron, you're kind of along for the ride. He did save it, so no damage on that race car. But quick trigger on that yellow. And Hunter, this is going to affect the strategy quite a bit. We only have 12 guys scored on the lead lap right now, so a lot of wave rounds are coming. Here comes yellow flag pit stops now for the remaining cars who had not pitted. GT Hawkins, William Hartman, Darren Bruce, Brendan Book, Dennis Weeks, David Elliott all down on the pit road right now as our lead lap cars.
Going to benefit them the most because they're going to keep their spots, and then you're going to see everyone else get their wave rounds.
Yeah, wave around guys are kind of in the worst spot right now. I'll tell you who's in the best spot is going to be those guys who were able to pit and just barely get back on the lead lap, and that includes Justin Michael in the 87. The 99 of Rob Haynes, he's actually going to be a wave round car. The 7 of Ed Morris is also going to be a wave round car. So I don't think anybody was able to come down and get service. Yeah, no, nobody was able to get service and get back on the lead lap, which means the top 9 are going to stay the exact same, and everybody who had already pitted under green are going to go to the race.
But that really helps the 9 of Mike Rominger gets a caution, so he can kind of catch up a little bit too.
Great point. He's actually gonna get his lap back. So, or no, I'm sorry. Mike Rominger he's actually scored 2 laps down there, Hunter. So he's actually only gonna get one of those laps back. So he's still gonna get a lap down. He's gonna need another caution to really make his mistake completely go away. But yeah, tough break there for Mike Rominger nonetheless. I kind of was shocked. I was talking about the experience of Mike and how he's been in the Cup Series for so long, a Cup Series champion, and then first set of green flag pit stops, made a mistake. Makes me look like a dummy.
It looks like the 67 of William Hartman's going to come out the leader. Take a look at some of these pit stops here.
Yeah, Hartman was able to come out as the leader. GT actually comes out in the back. Did he get a speeding penalty? I'm going to see if I can watch that.
He must have missed his pit box also, because I'm looking at how much time they spent on pit road, or it might have been some damage repair.
Hey, he just sat in his pit box while everybody else left. No penalty as far as I can see here. He just let everybody get right back around him, so he's going to be restarting all the way back in 11th, like you just noted there, Hunter. And we're going to have 23 cars on the lead lap still, with the exception of Mike Rominger. He's going to be trapped a lap down, but wave round cars are about to be coming. Quite a bit of them. I think we're going to have 12 guys almost getting the wave around here. 10 guys, 10 cars. You see the 14 there. Do you see any damage there, Hunter, on the right side? I think a little bit.
There's a little bit on the right front and then the right rear. Not sure how they got there, but it got there somehow.
Do you have the time of the pit stop?
The pit stop for GT Hawkins was 34.5.
Means that's 20 seconds of optional damage. That could have been the case there for 14. So that's good call there, Hunter. On GT's part, I think you're right. I think he got some of that damage fixed, and it's going to go ahead now and restart towards the back half of the top 10 as they're going to get the 1 to go this time by. We're going to have a good group of cars getting the wave around here. They're going to have to get caught back up.
Should also mention that the 03 of Darren Bruce, he had a 23-second pit stop, and he came in third when he was going to do his pit stops. Yeah.
Get a logjam getting around the pace car.
So it happens when over half the field's stuck a lap down. Is that 24 of Garrett Grant?
Oh wow! Yeah, that's
pulled
the
up
yeah.
to the
He
top.
was supposed to get the wave around Hunter, but since he brought out the caution, he was actually given the EOL penalty. So no wave around for him. So him and Mike Rominger are going to be trapped a lap down now. I forgot about that. That's big for the 24. Go to the rear.
24. He looked like he had a race-winning car. He still might have a race-winning car, but it's just going to push him in a deeper of a hole. He's going to be stuck in 23rd.
And he's going to need some help from some yellow flags to hopefully get a lap back. But up front, we're getting set to restart here. The 67 of William Hartman is actually going to be the leader. And he's going to start on the outside. Brendan Book is going to restart second on the bottom. David Elliott is going to restart third. Fourth is going to be Michael Larchy, the number 3. And how about Jim Duda? He's going to restart fifth in the number 53 car. Really, really good run for him.
He ran his way from the open, and he just never looked back since. He kind of got lucked down in this this caution, and now he's in the top 5, ready to see what he can do. Pace car makes a hard left turn on the pit road, and you said it, William Hartman going to lead him back to the green on the outside. See how this restart plays out.
Wanted to note, a lot of those guys that stayed out with GT Hawkins were actually GT Motorsports drivers. 67, the 5 of Brendan Book, of course 14 of GT Hawkins, and the 03 of Darren Bruce. Those are all drivers for GTM. So their strategy paid off. Now they're going to have to see if they can stay up front as Hartman runs away with the lead. Back in second, it's going to be Brendan Book. Michael Larch under attack from third place from David Elliott. But other than that, pretty much single file all throughout the field. We got some shakers right at the back half of the top 10.
Flying through 1 and 2.
Wow, already 51 laps down.
Still over 100 laps left in this. Anything can happen. You saw 24 of Garrett Grant. He went from having a top 5 car to spinning out and getting stuck a lap down. Now he's back in 23rd. So anything can really happen in this all-star race, and we still have over 100 laps left to see it.
We got one car leaving pit road right now. That's actually going to be the 34 of Matthew Robinson, who had a black flag on that restart there. So I'm going to try and see if I can get back and see what happens. Potentially a lane change for a drive-through penalty there.
97 of Dennis Weeks. He was another one of the open drivers to race their way into the all-star race. We got a battle up front. So 03 of Bruce down on the bottom. That's for the 6th spot underneath the 53 of Duda. 2 drivers have also made it into the open. Ooh, the 14 GT Hawkins nearly getting into Duda. And they stay clean for now as they head to turn 3. Hawkins is going to take that spot.
Duda now falling backwards into the... Oh man, look at that. The 97 of Dennis Weeks is going to look high. The 87 of Justin Michael going to look low. We might have them split in the 53 pretty wide here in a little bit as they continue side by side. Move GT Hawkins back up into the 7th spot now in that 14 car, right behind a couple of his teammates, the 03 of Darren Bruce and the 41 of Pierce Moffitt.
Got really fanning out on the backstretch there behind Duda, kind of creating a log jam.
Yeah, the 87's able to squeeze by him of Justin Michael. Now the 14 squeezes by the 14 of Pierce Moffitt. The 87 of Justin Michael, he's trying to stick with the 14 of GT Hawkins. He's not letting him get too far away from him. As these two kind of pick their way through the traffic with a lot of these guys on older tires, like the one there. Yeah, Michael's not letting GT get too far away from him as he's trying to race his way back up to the front.
Looking up front, looks like we got a battle for second. Larch on the bottom of Book. Book trying to hold in.
And Larch is just peeking his nose under Brendan Book for second. He's still peeking his nose under Brendan Book for second. I mean, it's some tight racing up there all throughout the top 5, really. Is these guys are pushing each other just about to... Oh, man, Michael Larch is kind of out of the throttle there.
He's not letting that 5 go just yet. It might cost him, though. Here comes the 03 of Bruce. That's my pick, ducking on the bottom for the 3rd spot.
Yeah, he's also working on the 3 of Michael Larch now. As Larch is kind of heading backwards. GT Hawkins right behind Darren Bruce, another one of those guys making his way through the front, or to the front, I should say. He's following his teammates. We got a GT Motorsports 1, 2, 3, 4 right now at the first ever Extreme Motorsports All-Star Race presented by Trak-Racer. GTM looking strong.
It reminded me of Dover. It's like Hendrick Motorsports, just the top 4 spots, and then everyone else just there to battle amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, the 03 gonna try and cut down in front of the 3 of Large. He just did, nearly turned himself in front of the field.
That was a close call. That one was tight. I'm not gonna lie. Now the 87 is gonna look low of the 41 of Pierce Moffitt, and also
he nearly gets into the 3. Oh man,
teammates there. And he definitely got out of the throttle. You can see how much time it actually cost the 87. Because now Garrett Grant's looking underneath him. He's a lap down still.
He's going to try and get his lap back the hard way.
Yeah. I mean, he could do it. If anybody could make it work on the long run and get up in front of the leader, it would probably be the 24. Got to remember, he's racing the 9 of Mike Robinson and also the 34 of Matthew Robinson now to the lucky dog, thanks to the penalty that Robinson got there on the restart. So Grant's looking good though. I don't see Mike Rominger in the shot. I think he's got a pretty sizable advantage. Yeah, I see Rominger there. He's 2 cars back, so Grant's trying to look for a yellow to get that lucky dog and get back on the lap of 24. But regardless, he's looking strong so far.
Should also show how much speed that 24 car has. He's a lap down. He started at the tail end of this pack too, because of that EOL that he got. So
Yep.
it's really showing, really flexes his muscle here with how much speed's under that car.
It's just so much action all over the track, really, when you look at Hunter, I don't know if you realize this, Bean Boy mentioned it in the chat. He said GTM looking like Hendrick, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you read that, but he did accuse you of stealing his comment.
No, I was just thinking of the same thing. This is just the first thing that it reminded me of.
And Darren Bruce working on the 3s. You're watching the 09 of Bryce Senesac running with Jim Duda, and the 87 of Justin Michael. Bryce is another one of those guys who could be a sleeper kind of pick. He's a Cup Series driver. He gets it done in the Cup Series. He runs really strong there. Looking good tonight in the 09 as he's passing the 53 on the top side, it looks like, trying to work his way to the front.
Looked like Duda poked out.
Yeah, those Trak-Racer cars on the bottom, 53 and the 87, almost pushing each other down the front stretch.
The momentum push that helped get the 53 of Duda back past the 09 of Senesac, although it hasn't worked quite yet. He's still fighting up top.
And GT Hawkins has just picked his way through the field. He's now all the way up to second place after restarting outside the top 10, trying to hunt down his teammate William Bartman for the top spot as we get close to about 105 laps to go here in the All-Star race. Gonna make it close on fuel strategy, Hunter. A lot of these guys, we got the restart with about 120 laps to go. Gonna be 2 more pit stops for these guys, so it's gonna be an interesting strategy race to see when these guys hit pit road once again, kind of like it was earlier.
Should also point out that there are 4 sets of tires for these guys in the All-Star race, and most, if not all of them, already have gone through 1 set, so I also have to keep that in mind too.
There's our leader, the 67 of William Hartman, running the butt kicker Toyota. Haven't seen him in the Cup Series in about 3 seasons. He did run 1 season up there, then he dropped back down to the Truck Series, and he's been kicking everybody's tail down there ever since. There's the 42 of David Elliott, racing with the 97 and Dennis Peaks. This battle's right near the top 10 line, 9th, 10th, and 11th right there at the screen.
Senesac blocking all over the front stretch.
Yeah, Senesac was working on the 53 for 7th just a few laps ago, and now he's trying to hold off these guys behind him for 9th, so clearly the 09 probably not happy with his race car right now and what he's had to deal with, racing with a lot of these guys. Man, Garrett Grant is all the way up to...
Oh, 09's getting loose. Here comes the 97 down on the bottom. Battle for 10th, or battle for 9th, excuse me.
That 97 of Dennis Weeks did not cut the 09 any slack there. He saw him slipping up, and he tried to take advantage as these guys are getting close down in turn 2.
Yeah, real close. 42 of that's David Elliott. He's in the capper to see if anything happens, and he's kind of in a pickle right now. He can't go in the middle, can't go outside, inside. He's just kind of settling behind him.
He has teammates with the 09, so you can see there if he had to choose the line, top or bottom, he's sticking with his teammate. The 09 Bryce Senesac is 97, clears them there off the corner, jumps in front. You see a little bit of damage on the back end of that 97 car. Man, Bryce Senesac is he's not happy with the 97 if I had to guess.
So he's just trying to hold on to whatever he's got right now. You mentioned he was battling for 7th earlier with Duda, and now he's just struggling, falling back, trying to hold on to whatever he can.
We saw it there on that onboard shot with David Elliott. Those two primetime cars were pushing each other down the back straightaway, man. I'm telling you, this package is almost as close as you can get to, Daytona and Talladega style racing at a mile and a half. I mean, pushing each other down the back and front straightaway, trying to work together, using the draft. I mean, it's almost like a miniature plate track all over again as you see the teammates working together there. How about Matthew Robinson from the restart violation earlier? Had served the black flag. He's a lap down. Now he's right behind the 42 of the 42 of David Elliott. Matthew Robinson's looking good, man. If he wasn't a lap down, I'd be keeping on 34.
Board of Rob Haynes in the 99. He was the All-Star Open winner. Kind of took the lead after about lap 15 or so and didn't look back and took home the checkered flag and the win in the Open. And now he's currently running 12th.
He got caught on the wrong side of the caution. He pitted before the yellow flag came out, and then he's kind of been trapped on the old tires, had to take the wave around. So a lot of those guys, that's another thing I should have pointed out. Those guys that pitted under the caution and got lucky and stayed out, they're going to have 3, 4, 5 lap pressure tires, and they restarted in front of those guys on their tires. So the advantage for them is just substantial compared to getting trapped a lap down and having to use the wave.
Trapped down, looks like the 14 of Hawkins. He stayed relatively about 4, 5, 6 car lengths behind the 67 of William Hartman after catching him. Kind of maintained a relative distance.
Definitely not really, closed the gap in a whole lot. Like you said, he stayed about 4.5 tenths behind him. Now he's actually closed in there. Had a pretty strong run through 1 and 2, but Hartman's just able to pull and kind of make the advantage. Baker down the back straightaway and front straightaway, right on board with Aaron Bruce here. The 03, man, he's had a really, really strong run for him. I'm happy to see him back in the Cup cars. He's looking strong here tonight and running inside the top 5.
Picked the win too.
Garrett Grant though, right behind him. A lap down, man. If it wasn't for that TOL bringing out that caution, I would feel pretty confident in that 24, man. I think he's got a good piece here tonight as GT's continuing to stay about 4.5 tenths behind our race leader, William Hart.
Completely over for Garrett Grant. It's not completely over for him. There's still over 90 some laps left in this race. We still have at least one more pit stop, maybe 2.
Definitely 2.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how it all plays out. And who knows, maybe there's a caution that'll play into his favor rather than against it. There's your top 5 there on the screen. It's the 67, that's William Hartman, your leader right now. GT Hawkins in hot pursuit in 2nd. 3rd, it's going to be Brennan Book, who kind of is faded back a little bit too. 4th is going to be Michael Larch in the 3, followed by Darren Bruce in the 0. It's a nice aerial shot of Texas Motor Speedway. See how spaced out everyone is. That's the 14 of GT Hawkins. He's made his way through the field. Currently up to 2nd right now, and behind these guys, or behind him are these guys. It's the 12 and the 83. It's James Shane Wolf and Michael Thwaites. Thwaites was another one of the Open drivers to make it in, and Shane Wolf, got a bad exit there. As here comes Thwaites. He's going to go on the inside.
A strong run
take over
right
that
there.
14th spot.
That's a big difference in speed, man. That 12 of Michael Thwaites just flew right around that for 83. There's
the 42 car right there. It's David Elliott. currently running 11th right now. And right in front of him is Sebastian Taylor. Currently riding on board with David Elliott right now.
Yeah, Elliott, he's looked solid so far tonight. Him and Bryce has kind of been bumper to bumper most of the race so far, right around the top 10 mark. Obviously got stuck on the wrong side of the caution, so they're on older tires than a lot of these guys. So another thing that makes it more interesting is when the pit cycle comes back around, those guys that pitted earlier are going to have to pit earlier again than the guys who stayed out. So we could potentially see the exact same thing if they catch a caution at the right time. There's the 27 of Sebastian Taylor, Hunter. He made his pit stop. We saw him do the same thing on the last green flag cycle. He was the first guy to hit pit road. Again, he's the first guy to hit pit road this time around. Sebastian Taylor is off of the pit lane, and he seems to have made his stop pretty clean and right in front of the leaders.
All right, Jake, words are tough. I have mishaps with him too.
That one was a tough run there. I'm sorry.
Well, you said that he was the first driver to pit on the last cycle of pit stops, so maybe this is a sign of things to come, that within the next 5 laps we'll see more drivers come down pit road. And who knows, maybe we'll see another caution.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying, man. These guys can get trapped again, especially having to pit early. I don't think Sebastian Taylor had much of a choice. You know, he pitted that last green flag cycle really early in the run, so he's got way less fuel than a lot of these guys who were able to put under the caution. And eventually, he's just got to come down and fill that thing back up and take his 4 tires. You see some battling going on, though. The tires, this is probably the worst a lot of these guys' cars have felt all night long. We got a lot of rubber on the racetrack. The track temp is still hovering around 77 degrees. You're stuck in traffic. The tires are old. It's just not a fun car right now to drive, unless you're up front and you're William Hartman. Then you can just drive away from the field.
Track temp's gone up to 77 degrees. Kind of weird because it was lower during the day and now it's higher at night. And the winds, they're going crazy. It's going from 9 to 10, 11, just going up and down, up and down.
Well, these cars laying down, rubber onto the track, and the friction of the cars running around the track will make the track that ways.
Now, Jake and Hunter, I'm bringing up the fact that we see Sebastian on Sunday nights in the late models, and if I'm not mistaken, he usually stretches the fuel, so kind of is rendering his strategy here being a little different than he normally runs.
Right, and I mean that's the beauty of this All-Star race. This is also Sebastian Taylor's first time really racing against his teammates. He's got Ed Morris, who's the owner of the team. That's one of the guys who's competing against. And a lot of times when these guys get into their team chats and their team channels throughout the race, they'll kind of stick to similar strategies. So he's probably, pitting early because that's what the primetime guys are doing. We saw the GTM guys stay out longer. We saw the Samson guys kind of cut it down the middle. So it really comes down to, your team and what the strategy is for a lot of your teammates and what they decide to do. So that's kind of why you'll see the similar strategies amongst these guys that are running for the same team. That's also why you see GTM running 1, 2, 3, and 5 right now, because their strategy is working best so far. Large stuff for JW Racing, right there in the 4th spot, looking strong.
Should point out that Hawkins, I was going to say the gap was about close to a second. It's now back down to about 7 car lengths or so. Still waiting to stay on these pit stops. That should be coming any minute now.
Yeah, these guys were last. A lot of them were last on pit road around lap 45. So with this being lap 83, you're looking almost to that 40 lap mark again. I expect to see guys on pit road within the next handful of laps without a doubt.
Top 5 remains the same. It's Hartman, Hawkins, Book, Larch, and Bruce. Top 5 due to Michael Weeks, Moffitt, and Senesac. Top 10.
We do have somebody on pit road. I'm trying to catch and see who it is really quick. It is the 7 of Ed Morris. So, again, that's the team owner for Primetime Motorsports. Team racing with Sebastian Taylor. Obviously, their strategy is to short pit. Taylor was already in a few laps ago. Now in comes Ed Morris, the team owner for Primetime, making his second stop of the night.
Should also point out he was also the second car to pit on that previous cycle.
Exactly. A lot of these guys are kind of stuck with the the amount of fuel that they have. They had to pit so early, they couldn't pit, or else they wouldn't get the wave rounds. And now they're kind of made their bed and they got to lie in it and come down early for the rest of the race. You'll probably see the rest of the primetime cars come next, including the 09 of Bryce Tennistak and the 42 of David Elliott. And I mean, Harold's on it. He's already got the camera locked in on him.
Yeah, that battle for 10th is still there. There's the Tennistak on board, but right behind him it's David Elliott in the 42.
Yeah, teammates looking, like I said, they've just been bumper to bumper really all night long. The 67, I believe, of William Hartman is considering, I thought he was considering pitting there. I think he was actually just talking back and forth with Ed Morris. Ed Morris had just left pit road and was trapped behind Hartman. Of course, with the pressure tires, he was able to get around him. So Ed Morris was actually trapped 2 laps down for a second. He's back down to 1 lap down in that number 7.
I'm going to stretch that lead now to about a second over Hawkins, so the tire's still starting to wear. Even for Hawkins, and he was flying through the field earlier, and he just kind of sat.
Well, that's the thing. He had to use up the tires to fly through the field, and you're kind of seeing the effects now. But Hartman is also in a great spot right now. He's got the fresh tires with Ed Morris, who just came off the pit road right in front of him. He can kind of use the draft of the 7 car and use that to kind of tow him around the racetrack and even build that gap further on these cars.
Build it further and use the draft a little bit to save some fuel if he needed to.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some guys coming down this time. I think he got the call that the 29, I believe, is coming. The Douglas Newbigging. I think the 99 of Rob Haynes might also be coming down pit road here as well. Yeah, here comes Rob Haynes, the 99. Looks like Douglas got trapped on the top. Wasn't able to get down the pit road there. Shane Wolf in the 83 is another one on pit road. So 2 of the Samson guys are making their second pit stop of the night here on lap number 88.
A few more of these guys coming down any moment.
Well, yeah, I think the 29 was trying to get down. He got stuck on the top, wasn't able to make the stop when he wanted to. His leaders coming by once again. Not a lot of takers up front, actually. A lot of these guys are not coming to pit road just yet. They're going to wait it out a few more laps. Not really sure what's going on with Ed Morris. He's got a pretty big gap back to the rest of the field. During that green flag run, he was running 20th. He was a few seconds behind the last place car, so not sure if that's a strategy play by Ed or if he's just got damage possibly on the 7 car, but he's had a rough night so far in the prime time machine.
Because his last pit stop, it was a 14-second pit stop, so it's not like he had anything to repair. So
yeah, sure. Not really sure what's going on with Ed, but he hasn't been as much up front as I thought he would be. As these guys again refused pit road last time around, working lap 91, pumping to lap 92. I think we're going to see some stops, man. I really do. I think it's going to be coming here pretty soon. I think we just got the call for the 19 of Rick Christensen, 32 of Lane Doyle, perhaps coming down, maybe even the 52 of Tyler Hallman. Yes, here comes the 12 of Michael Thwaites, driver for Primetime Motorsports in the Cup Series. He's making his second stop, and here comes a whole bunch of them behind him. You got the 32 of Lane Doyle, 52 of Tyler Hallman, and then the number 19 of Rick Christensen. So that's the current group on pit road, as you see the 12 of Michael Thwaites in the box. Here comes the 24 of Garrett Grant, by the way. Just already touched off there from a lap down. He's making his stop. The 87 of Justin Michael right behind him. He's making his pit stop as well. I think that's it for this round.
I was going to say, you'll start to see guys from the middle of the pack pit before the guys up front.
Yeah, because a lot of those guys up front were able to pit under the caution. They got some more fuel in their car. They can go a lot further if they really want to. They'll probably try to cut the distance in half. That's exactly what we see here. The 67 of William Hartman's on pit road from the lead, as well as his teammate GT Hawkins from 3rd spot. He's also hitting pit road this time around. We got the 53 of Jim Duda, who's trying to lock it down. He's close on his pit speed. I'm not sure if he made it. Mike Rominger is in. New leader, though, Brendan Bookfunner.
Kind of stayed in the top 5 for the most part of the night, and he's just kind of riding it out there. Now he's got the lead. Michael Arch behind him. Both those guys expected to make pit stops within the next handful of laps or so.
If they're staying out, they could probably stretch it close to lap number Heck, I'd probably say close to lap 97 if I had to guess. I don't think they can go too much further than that, considering they did come down and pit on lap 47. So.
There's the 42 Dave Elliott on the pit road. Starting to see all those drivers that are a lap down pick up more and more on our ticker here.
Larch from second is in, as well as the third place car of Darren Bruce. So we got two more takers within the top 5 pit road, and here comes a bunch of cars behind them. Dennis Weeks in the number 97, as well as the 09 of Bryce Sennison. So that really leaves Brendan Book and Bruce Moffitt as the only 2 guys who haven't hit pit road yet within the top 10. And as soon as I say that, lap 96, here comes the number 5 of Brendan Book, our race leader.
Expect the 41 to come down too.
Yeah, the 41, he's already down on the apron. He's into pit road. Pretty conservative entrance on the pit road. He actually probably gave up a lot of time there, so I'm kind of curious to see how that plays out for Pierce Moffitt. But 5 is in, the 41 is in. The lead is going to get shuffled right back around to William Hartman. Actually, Hunter, you see who's in front of William Hartman?
Is
The 24 is Garrett Grant. So that means he's raced his way back onto the lead lap once the pit stop cycle. Very interesting. He made up a lot of time on pit road. He was running right around the top 5. But I think he came down earlier than a lot of these guys, so he's going to have a little bit of older tires than Hartman. But he is out front. The caution fell at the right time for Garrett Grant. He wouldn't have to rely on the lucky dog. He'd just be able to have said he raced his way back onto the lead lap here with 70 laps to go when we hit the stripe.
rarely do you see guys drive their way back from being a lap down to the lead lap. And I mean, it's probably more common on short tracks than anything because it's a shorter track. This is a 1.5 mile speedway at Texas. So, and this was all on the green too. So
Right.
it's even more impressive that it's on a bigger scale.
A lot of it really was because he had pitted so much earlier than Hartman. So while Hartman was out there on the older tires, I mean, Garrett Grant came in, got fresh tires, he was running, a second and a half faster for about 3 or 4 laps there, made up the difference. It's going to be tough for him to keep it up, though, on the back end of this run. Right now, it looks great because he did race his way back on the lead lap. But how's he going to do when the tires start falling off? Is he going to be able to stay in front of the 67 of Hartman, who's on fresher tires? He actually throws a block right there on the leader, William Hartman. Frustrated on the radio. I got unmuted the radio just in time. Hartman was not happy at all with the 24 with that block. You let him know.
I think he's 24's gotten the message and he's letting the 67 go. Yeah, I think that Grant's doing all he can do to try and stay in front of the leader to stay on the lead lap, not go a lap down.
Yes. I'm listening into this conversation and was very hostile at first between William Hartman and Garrett Grant. But then Grant kind of said, hey man, look, I'm trying to stay on the lead lap. And also this ain't a point race. I'm not a guy to block the leader, but heck, he said, I'm going for the prize. And Hartman said, look man, I get it, just not on the straightaways. That was his response back to him as Hartman worked his way around the 24, so Grant goes back to 1 lap down. GT Hawkins settles into second. How about Rob Haynes up to third, huh?
Rob Haynes, he was the open winner, so it's interesting to see the different strategies of pitting earlier and pitting later all come into one effect. So there right now on our screen is the 87th Justin Michael, currently running 4th. Kind of didn't want to do the rundown in the middle of pit stops, but our mid-race rundown is brought to you by Miracles Auto Auction of Western Michigan. Big shout out to them. Currently 5th right now is Brendan Book in the 5 car. He's kind of stayed in the top 5 for most of the night, and he still keeping that 5 car rolling.
Yeah, running 6, James Shanewood, a regular to the Rick Hot Sauce Late Model Series, but also a regular in the ARCA Series with a few wins there under his belt. He's had a solid night. He's raced his way up to 6. He's got the 12 of Michael Thwaites all over his back after a regular of the Cup Series driving for Prime Time Motorsports.
it's Darren Bruce in the 03. He's stayed in the top 10, top 5 most of the night. And he's kind of just hanging in there at the moment. He just passed the 3 of Michael Larch right there. Another one of the Trak-Racer cars. He's also had a relatively calm night.
Staying up towards the front as much as he can. David Elliott currently running 10th. He's up top. I think he might be getting past here. Yep, there he goes back to 11th. Another one of those guys driving for prime time. Bryce Senesack, another teammate to him, who is the guy who just passed him. He's up to 10th in that number 09 car. Both those guys regular to the Cup Series, running inside the top 10 in the first ever All-Star race here tonight.
Jim Duda in the 53, another one of the open drivers to race their way in. He's currently 12th right now. And up and down kind of race, then he's settled out in the 12th spot.
13th is Dennis Weeks in that number 97 car. You see he's got the butt kicker logo on there, racing the GTM, kind of hopping in with that team and running with their strategy. He's having a solid run up into the 13th spot. Right behind him, number 29 of Douglas Newbiggie, the Trak-Racer car, who started on the pole, won the $25 for that. He's kind of struggled since then. He's kind of fallen back outside the top 10.
41 of Pierce Moffitt, he's also another one of the open drivers that raced their way in. He was up front in the top 10 at one point. Now, after the different pit strategies, he's cycled out to 14th on the chart.
Lane Doyle, reigning ARCA Series champion. He has had a decent night in that number 32 car. Probably not super familiar with these Cup cars, so you can't really blame him for that. He's running 16th, Trak-Racer on board that car. He's been a huge help to JW Racing. They're happy they were able to pick him up. And he made his way into the All-Star race here tonight. Ed Morris, 17th. My pick earlier in the pre-race show. Kind of struggled, man. I'm not really sure what's up with the 7. He's normally a guy who runs up front. He stepped away from the Cup Series the last couple of seasons, actually, to help add to the series. The real reason. He's jumped down into the Truck Series, so I think that may have had an effect on his run tonight. He's been struggling a little bit.
52 of Tyler Hallman, last driver to make it into the All-Star race from the Open. Currently battled a good bit. He's kind of settled down here in the 17th spot right now.
You got Rick Christensen in the 19, running 19th. He is a newer face to these Cup cars as well. He races down in the Truck Series for Primetime Motorsports. Was able to get to the All-Star race though. He's kind of biding his time and just trying to get a solid run for his team with the rest of the Primetime group. And rounding out your top 20, Justin Lemke, first career pole in Extreme Motorsports game a couple weeks back at Atlanta, and he made his way into the All-Star race through that. Looking good in this Cup car. I like the things he's got on there with his orange and black colors that he traditionally runs, PHR on the hood, but kind of struggled a little bit so far tonight, but he's up against good competition.
For Sebastian Taylor, currently 21st right now, kind of cranking on a caution to help him out and get him back into the swing of things.
And then Garrett Grant, 24th, running right behind the leader. He's trapped a lap down, doing just about everything he can, including blocking the leader to try to stay on the lead lap. Unfortunately for him, he did get lapped again by Hartman, so he's trapped right behind him. And that Samson number 24 machine had a strong run going earlier. He's going to have to hope for caution and make his race turn right back around. Mike Rominger, another one of those guys, former Cup Series champion, was running strong earlier in the night. Missed his pit box on the first green flag stops of the night. Got trapped a lap down. Hasn't recovered since.
Bo for Matthew Robinson, 24th. He's kind of been stuck a lap down and hasn't recovered since. Another one of the Trak-Racer cars, though.
Yeah, he had the drive-through penalty under green on the last restart, our only restart of the night. Here in the All-Star race presented by Trak-Racer. That was our field rundown presented by America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan.
During that rundown, Haynes went from 3rd to 6th right now on the track.
Yeah, he pitted early with the rest of the Samson group, so a lot of those guys with pressure tires are able to just kind of eat them up on the long run. So that's what you see with Brendan Book moving back up into the top 5, as well as Justin Michael and Darren Bruce. Tires are coming into effect, and those guys are getting their spots back that they initially were in anyway.
113 of 167 in the books here at Texas. Still have enough laps left to make one more pit stop. So we got some 3-wide action on the backstretch now.
And look at that. Here's Moffitt looking below Jim Duda and Dennis Weeks. Those guys racing just outside of the top 10. A lot of newer faces to the Cup cars. A lot of those guys racing Xfinity Series and below, so it's interesting to see how they've been adjusting to these interesting setups, man. Honestly, this low downforce, or excuse me, low horsepower, high downforce package is just weird, man. It honestly is kind of unusual compared to every other series a lot of these guys are familiar with. But Hartman, the Truck Series, honestly, the Truck Series ace so far this season and last season. He's looked strong tonight. He has built that gap up, Hunter.
Yeah, stretched it out quite a bit over Hawkins. Kind of thought after that restart Hawkins would close in and seal the deal, but he just stuck behind the 67, and it looked like that's why he was fading back. He was using his tires up and got him up to second, but after that he's just kind of stayed behind the 67 since, and he has set sail since then.
Yeah, he has really set sail, man. A 4-second lead is that's not easy to build in these things, and then you see Brendan Book actually on the back bumper just about as GT Hawkins for second. Those two are kind of going after one another. We saw that battle earlier. Brendan Book now making the move down low on GT Hawkins, down the back straightaway. He's going to complete the pass into turn 3. Brendan Book has drove his way up to second. So a couple unique names towards the front of the field, but one thing they all have in common, they're drivers for GTM.
Lead stretched out to 4 seconds now.
Yeah, I mean that's very impressive by Hartman, and especially to be in a Truck Series driver. He's not a Cup Series guy up here running these cars every week. He's down in the Truck Series, kind of making his own marks on that series, and then he comes up into the All-Star race. Obviously, he's locked in through various wins in the Truck Series, and he's just putting on a clinic right now. A 4.5-second lead as we work lap 118 of 167. These guys have 50 more laps left in the All-Star race, including a pit stop coming up.
Down in the last 50 laps window, and the last pit stop can come anywhere in the next 10, 20 laps or so. We might see some guys pit early so they can get more track position.
You know what I would love to see, Hunter, is when we get down to this thing, when we get down within 10, 15 laps to go, these guys are going to hate me saying it, but a green-white checkered or a 5-lap shootout, something like that, with all this money on the line, oh my God, would that be one of the most interesting things to watch, especially with the restart with these Cup cars. You've seen it. You've seen it in real life, how these guys just fan out all over the track, 4 or 5 wide even on a track like Texas, where it's super wide, and make those aggressive moves, man. That would be quite the show.
They do whatever they can do to get to the win, or get up front, move up some spots. Green-white checker would definitely help that out.
Gotta do what you gotta do, man. And obviously, right now, it's looking pretty good for William Hartman. He's not out of the woods yet. He's got a whole green flag pit stop cycle to work his way through, which we saw earlier in the first green flag pit stop cycle. Anything can happen. You can miss your box. You can scoot on pit road. Caution can fall at the wrong time, and all of a sudden your race is flipped upside down. I mean, we saw it happen to Garrett Grant. So I wouldn't say he's in the clear yet, but he's definitely got some work to do. He got something on pit road already. I believe that's
Sebastian Taylor.
Yeah, Sebastian Taylor making that early stop once again. Hunter, he's only got we got 47 laps left, so he's going to be on the far end of the window trying to make it to the end with this stop. He's going to have to stretch it a little bit.
I think he might be. He might either be done or he's just doing pit repairs, because he's been there for about 2 minutes now.
Oh, okay, yeah, he came in on lap 115. You're right. And they're already working lap 122, so he's definitely probably parking it. I'm not sure if maybe he hit the wall and got a substantial amount of damage to where he wasn't even making any time running around the track. But tough break from Sebastian Taylor to see him stuck on pit road. But regardless, Hunter, I do know that a lot of these guys will be coming down pit road soon. I mean, Taylor would have been our first guy, considering he's been the first down pit road all night long. So we're kind of losing our telltale sign, but I'll keep an eye now on the 7 of Ed Morris, who was the second guy on pit road all night long.
He was
While
second
we were-
in command.
While we were looking at the pit there with Sebastian, the 97 and Duda got into each other and smoke was coming off the tires. They were able to keep it green, but that's going to flat spot some tires, so we might see them guys coming down pretty soon.
Great point. Yeah, these guys, if you make those slides and you save it, yeah, that's great, but you're going to be struggling with the handle the next few laps. That's a great point. So we'll have to keep an eye on them. I'm sure they'll be on pit road earlier than they would have liked to. But yeah, we're getting down to it, man. About 43 laps to go when they hit the stripe next time around. Pit window's open. So is the pay window, almost. And want to remind you guys, almost $350 going to the first place driver tonight, with $95 going to second place. Third place is going to walk home or go home with $47.50, courtesy of all the sponsors who helped put on tonight's first ever All-Star race for XtremeMotorsports99, presented by Trak-Racer. Can't thank you guys enough. Can't thank you guys enough for also tuning in. We've had a great crowd all night long. We've had a few subscriptions come in. That helps the channel and helps us out a ton, so I can't thank you guys enough for that. It's been a blast so far, man. It really has.
7 on pit road.
Yeah, Ed Morris. So he's leaving pit road with about 43 laps to go for him. So he should be good on fuel. I wouldn't have to worry about that. It's going to be more of a matter of trying to catch him also at the right time. So he's really struggled, man, tonight.
53 of Duda. Should be seeing him in short lead for flat spot tires.
You know, for what it's worth, Hunter, 5 of Brendan Book has kind of chipped away at the 67 lead slightly. I wouldn't say he's really gotten in there, but he's picked off about a tenth here and there. He's got it down to almost 3 seconds now, and it was over 4 seconds when we saw him battling with Jinky Hawkins just about 10 laps ago. So I keep an eye on the 5. I don't know if it's completely over yet. I think a lot could change here on this next pit stop cycle.
Say he closed in a little bit, but then it stretched back out. So I didn't want to say anything there, but now it's down to 3 seconds. So close.
Well, yeah,
down
when
from
he's
4 to
down
3.
into the corner, it's the live gap that we're looking at is obviously going to shrink when they're down into the corner versus when they're on the straightaway. But the real telltale sign is lap times. Right now, William Hartman, he's coming to the stripe right now to put up lap number 129. And he is going to run a 31.009. He's actually picked up quite a bit there because he was able to use the draft of Garrett Grant once again. So he's about a tenth quicker than Brendan Book there. He's able to go through. Yeah, Garrett Grant catching back up to the race leader, Hunter. These two had some words earlier. Garrett Grant, of course, a lap down, trying to stay on the lead lap through the block on William Hartman. Hartman was not too fond of it. They exchanged a couple sentences back and forth on through the radio, but that 24 has not let him lead his sights yet. He's about 5 to 10 car lengths behind him for this entire run. So he's looking to get back on the lead lap.
We're at lap 130. There's 37 laps to go. There you'll see the times on the top left, bottom left of the screen. Hartman's
look
still.
how much Hartman. Wow.
Yeah, he's still going.
I mean, obviously, the draft of who he's racing with is going to help him with that. You know, with these guys coming off the road right in front of him with fresh tires, that's helping a lot. I mean, he's in a really good spot right now. But like I said, man, I just think these pit stops are going to be important. I just see the 7, Ed Morris on the fresh tires. Look at the difference. Here's a good visual representation of fresh tires versus new tires. You see they're about even as they enter curve 3. Look at the gap difference when they exit curve 4. Ed Morris, who just got around the 67, who's a race leader, he's going to probably have about a second and a half by the time they reach the start finish line. So 41 of Pierce Moffitt just radioed in. Running 10th, he's actually about to hit pit road. So he's one of the first guys we see coming down. He's peeling off the track in turn 4. And you're going to see him just on the inside of this shot right there. He's hit pit road. He's by himself though. Nobody else coming down.
Just yet. And it's interesting seeing how much longer these guys can go.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting to see that. And it's also
Like 97. Ooh.
Brendan Book is chipping away, Hunter. He's gotten it down to 2.8 seconds now. Here comes the 42 of David Elliott. He's down on the pit road from the 9th spot, making his final pit stop of the night. Nobody else coming down with him either. So a couple solo cars hit pit road as you see the 7 of Edmore working through the lap traffic. The third place car, GT Hawkins, is going to be coming down pit road here as they come through turn 3 and 4. And so is the 87 of Justin Michael, who beats GT Hawkins down on the pit road. We're going to have to see if that's a speeding penalty for the 87, but he just gained a whole position on GT Hawkins on that race getting on the pit road.
That is huge.
He was lighting up the tires, though, Hunter, when he was getting down. He got on really aggressively. I'm curious to see if he's going to have a speeding penalty or not here. He's in his box. If the 14 leaves and the 87 stuck on pit road for a few seconds, then unfortunately that's going to be the 40-second hold that comes with the speeding penalty here.
We'll have to wait and see.
He's off. Wow. And a strong pit stop on top of it. That 87 of Justin Michael, he just put himself right back into this race. An aggressive pit road strategy, gets on there super quick, and has a good pit stop to go along with it, and he's off. In a new position, too.
I will have to see if he was speeding or not. Whoa! 42 had to go around on the outside. That's the 29.
As Hartman and Book have yet to pit, Hunter, that 87 making up a lot of time on pit road. If the 5 and the 67 don't come down here within the next 2 or 3 laps, we might see the 87 actually jump them in position and be the race leader by the time the stop cycles through.
Very well be.
Especially with them staying out on these old tires for so long. I mean, we're working now 31 laps to go when they hit the stripe.
More 3-wide racing.
Yeah.
Oh, 4-wide. 4-wide. Let's do it. It's the All-Star race.
Looked like somebody was ducking down there on the apron to get out of the way.
Well, the 3 of Larch is pitted.
Yeah, here comes the 53 as well. The 7 of Ed Morris just queued up on the radio after that 4-wide boot and said, well, that was interesting.
Love to see it.
I don't know how you can say anything other than that was interesting, honestly. I mean, that's not the best way to describe it. 67 of William Hartman and the 1 of Brendan Book are working through turns 2 right now. Still haven't pitted, man. I think these guys might be regretting that decision. Here he comes. I just got it on the radio. The 67, our race leader, is going to be hitting pit road this time around.
Same thing with the 5 of Brennan Book and the 03 of Bruce. New big
5 stays out. His teammate kind of dogged him there. The 67 came down pit road. I think he thought the 5 was going to come with him, but Brendan Book says, nah, I'm going to stay out on the racetrack, and I'm going to run this strategy a little bit longer, see if I can catch a caution. Yeah, a lot of different strategies going on.
Yeah, there's so much going on, and you can see the 03 has closed the gap on the 5 from about 6 seconds out and closed over a second on him.
Book again through turn 4. He does not hit pit road. He's staying out on the racetrack. The real test here, Hunter, is when the 67 leaves pit road, which he's doing right now with William Hartman. Is the 87 of Justin Michael going to be in front of him or behind him? But I think that 87 made up a lot more time than these guys realize, especially with pitting so much earlier than the rest of them.
He might come out in front of them.
Yes, here he comes. You see the 67 down low, and here comes the 87 right by him on the top. So Justin Michael's going to cycle out and be the new race leader when the pit stop cycle all the way through.
And GT Hawkins also.
Man.
Whoa! That's the 03 of Bruce coming down the pit road.
Brendan Book as well, by the way, made his pit stop that lap. So both of those guys are on
He
pit
could be doing
road.
fuel only.
I don't think so. I think you got to take. I think you got to take 4 tires because you'll just lose so much time. You'll lose so much time on those old tires. How about it though? We got a race for the lead, man. The 67 of William Hartman. He just made a move on the 14 of GT Hawkins to get himself back up to what's going to be second place when the pit cycle is all the way through. But now he's going to have to run down the 87. He's got a little bit of a gap, as you see our leader Douglas Newbiggy, he has not made his pit stop yet. He's
gone.
though.
I was like, he's going 47 laps without making a pit stop now, and Justin Lemke should be following him here soon. Words are tough, Jake. Oh, he spun out on pit road.
Yeah, he got in a little too hot there. Watch out, he's got the 35 coming right behind him.
Oh, and he just hit the pit wall.
Trying to get his stuff straightened out. Off right there for the 29. Up front though, Justin Michael battle for the lead. He throws a block on Hartman. Those guys are going after it for the racing lead. And
look who's right behind him.
Man.
It's the 24 of Garrett.
Yeah. I figured Hartman was going to get him just with those fresher tires. It would be too hard for the 87 of Justin Michael to hold him off for too much longer. But man, what a strategy and what an awesome job on pit road by that 87.
Gonna tuck back in behind the 67. Still got 24 laps left in this race. Gonna see if he can preserve some of the tires a little bit and see if he can make another charge at the 67. Right now, Hartman's driving away.
And the 24 is just praying for a caution, man. He has been on the leader's back bumper all night long, and just can't seem to, get there. He's as close as he can to racing his way back onto the lead lap, but he can't get around the 67 and do it. So he's gonna have to hope for a caution. But a little bit of breaking news down on pit road. Brendan Book with a huge penalty. He got caught speeding on pit road. He got the drive-through penalty and the hold on pit road. So that 5 of Brendan Book, his chances at the $350 payday out the window. He's all the way back in 21st now, 2 laps down.
And not to mention, that's just driving down pit road. He didn't even get the hold yet.
He had the hold the first time around, I believe. So, regardless, though, he's going to have to get a lot of help to get back into this one. As Hartman, the 67 car, putting on a clinic, man. He's back out front with the 87 of Justin Michael running second. And how about the 14 of GT Hawkins in third? And then look at this log jam we got on the back straightaway for the 5th spot. For the 6th spot. You got the 42 of David Elliott, the 83 of James Shanewolf, and the number 9 of Mike Rominger, who's also a lap down with 24 of Garrett Grant. And those guys couldn't have picked the worst time to get trapped a lap down in the All-Star race with a lot of green flag laps.
We still have about 21 laps left in the All-Star race. There could be another late race yellow that could spice some things up.
Absolutely.
Always gotta expect the unexpected.
A lot of these guys are kind of hoping for it. I mean, if you're somebody right now like James Shanewolf, who's hitting super early, and you're kind of falling back right now, a caution would do nothing but help you. You're kind of guaranteed not to finish in the top 5 at this rate if it goes green. A caution, throw on another set of tires, potentially your last set of fresh tires, get back out there and try to race it for the win. You might race for $350. I mean, there's a lot on the line for these guys. If you can feel the tension is starting to pick up a little bit.
There you see, picking it up, it's Michael Thwaites. He's the biggest mover of the race. He's moved up 11 spots, and he's up to 9th right now. Could be even higher, depending on a late race yellow. Here's Rick Christensen. He started dead last in this All-Star race, and he's up to 14th, up 10 spots. And then the number 3 of Michael Larch, he's up 10 spots as well. So he started 15th, and now he's up to 5th. Yeah, looking to add 4 more spots to it.
That is a solid run for Rick Christensen. Somebody who's not, in the in the Cup Series week in and week out, kind of learning these cars up 10 spots. I mean, you can't really ask for too much more than that. So solid run for him tonight, man, and happy for him. He's been going through a lot recently, so hopefully he gets through it all and has a solid run out there. We all are big fans of Rick Christensen, one of the nicest guys in the community that you'll meet. So happy to see him in the All-Star race and do it well.
Right now approaching lap 150. So this is the battle for 7th. It's the 09 of Senesac and the 03 of Bruce ducking to the bottom, and he's going to move up to 7th spot. The 03 of Bruce has one of the fresher sets of tires. He's got 9 laps on his tires compared to everyone else who's got, say, 16 or 17 laps on their tires.
Yeah, I mean, that could pay off for Darren Bruce literally if he can get up inside that top 3 into the pay window. I mean, he's going to have to get all the way to GT Hawkins, who's about seven seconds out in front of him. But heck, I mean, he did something to kind of switch up the strategy a little bit, you know, and give himself a shot. As you see him working around the 42 of David Elliott there, now working around the 9 of Mike Rominger. I mean, Darren's another one of those guys who really knows how to save his tires well. So, you know, I think that could work for him. But up front, William Hartman continues to show the way, and a familiar sight that we've seen all night long. The 24 of Garrett Grant, 1 lap down just on his back bumper.
Yeah, I mean, it's really unfortunate for Grant because he shows so much speed underneath that 24 car, and if only he didn't get an EOL for causing that caution, he would have been up here right now, battling for the win.
Absolutely, man. And it's definitely a tough break. As you see here, the 67 of Hartman kind of gonna enter some uncharted territory for tonight's race that we haven't seen. He's working up onto the back half of the lead lap of the field. I mean, he's gonna have to deal with some lap traffic before this thing's all said and done. 15 laps to go. He's got the 19 of Rick Christensen right in front of him, the 53 of Jim Duda. He's gonna have to get around these guys, and I mean, that could open the door for some potential chaos.
Very well could. We're riding on board with our leader right now, William Hartman. Rick Sauce on board right there.
That draft he's getting from the 19 of Rick Christensen, just pulling him down the straightaway, helping him build his lead even more. I mean, we're up past 5-second advantage for William Hartman. He's just putting him up and putting him down right now. Working into turn 3 and 4 when he hits the stripe, he's going to have 13 laps to go. With a couple of lap cars in front of him, man, this thing could get interesting.
Could get interesting if they don't let him go, but most likely they're probably going to let Hartman go.
Here's another thing, though, Hunter. This is kind of going to get Garrett Grant a little bit uncomfortable because when Hartman gets around these guys, those guys will be the lucky dog until the 24 gets around him. So he's going to have to stay on. He's going to have to stay pretty much toe to toe with Hartman and pick these lap cars with him, especially if he wants a chance at staying in this race.
Either pick through with him or lead the way for him.
Yeah, I mean, he is all over the back bumper of Hartman right now. We're looking at the onboard shot inside the cockpit of William Hartman with Rick's hot sauce on board. There he goes. Garrett Grant actually took it to the bottom for the slingshot move.
The 67 let him go.
Yeah. It might have been like you said, Hunter. Is he gonna let Garrett Grant kind of pave the way through the lap traffic for him?
You think he's using him as a ramp or a shield, just pushing his way through.
I mean, with a 5-second advantage, coming to get 11 laps to go here, Hartman doesn't necessarily have to pick through the lap traffic either. He can kind of just bide his time, ride around these guys, give everybody some room, and you know, hopefully this thing goes green for him, and he's able to, you know, get the checkered flag here in 10.5 laps. But
what I'm looking at, the 03 of Bruce. He's currently picking up a lot of time right now, as he's closed the gap quite a bit on the 99 of Rob Haynes and the 99 for the 5th spot. I'm kind of looking to see if he gets anywhere to that top 3. Still got about 10 laps to go in this race. There's the 99 of Haynes right there, and about 4 car lengths behind him, and coming fast, it's the 03 of Bruce.
I heard some reports on the radio. A lot of these guys are struggling with the tightness of the race car. Can't get that thing to turn. Is pretty much what they're saying. So tires are falling off, man. We saw the pit stops, you know, outside of the 30 to go mark. A lot of these guys are going to be on older tires when they get to the end of the race here. As you see Garrett Grant now trying to pick his way through the lap traffic. You see Rob Haynes in the number 99, winner of the All-Star Open. He's running 5th for Hunter. Like you said, that 03 of Darren Bruce coming through right behind him.
Don't know if he's going to back off quite a bit as well. He's going to go all out for it. So you see he dives down below the 99 going in the 1. He's going to come out with the spot, move him up to 5th.
You know, I don't think we can really give Justin Michael enough credit for the strategy. I'm just looking at it. He was kind of racing around the 03 and the 99 before pit stops. And then he just got on the pit road so well, it jumped him from 5th all the way up to 2nd and into the money pretty much. So honestly, and he's kind of held his part since then. He hasn't fallen back outside the top 3. He hasn't fallen back to GT Hawkins. He's got a 3-second gap in between them. So he's done a strong job so far for the 87.
The 03 is getting close to the 3. He just backed off quite a bit. something might have happened there, but he was about to pass the 3. Bruce was about to pass the 3 of Larch there, and something just happened, and he's backed off quite a bit. Like, I mean, he was right on the bumper of the 3.
I think he was having the same issues that a lot of these guys are talking about. He just got super tight off the corner, and it was either hit the wall or back out of it and lose a lot of time, but at least save the race car. So I think that was the decision there Bruce had to make there. And fortunately for him, he was able to keep it out of the wall, but definitely, like you said, lost a lot of time that he was gaining on the 3. See Hartman right now, he's in the thick of the lap traffic. He's got the 19 of Rick Christensen, who he just put a lap down. Now he's going to start working on the 53 of Jim Duda. He's got the 24 of Garrett Grant right in front of him, as well as the 7 of Ed Morris. And we know the 7's on super old tires. He was the first car down on pit road this cycle, so he's going to have to a really tough time holding on to his car.
He's got 37 laps on those tires, Ed Morris does.
Yeah, and by the end of the race, that's going to be upwards of 40, so it's going to be tough. It's not going to be a fun car to drive, I can tell you that. Now Garrett Grant right in front of the leaders can start working on Ed Morris, but a little bit of a calm here from William Hartman as he's got 5 laps to go in the All-Star race presented by Trak-Racer here for Extreme Motorsports 99. William Hartman has put on a clinic since the last restart of the race. He's gotten out front and he's built over a 4.5 second advantage to Justin Michael and GT Hawkins. This time at the stripe, 4 to go.
He basically hasn't turned his back since that restart. Kind of just in a race of his own, really.
Caution could change everything though, at this point, Hunter. I mean, it would be a complete shock if we got a yellow flag here as to what would happen after that. I mean, you see Jim Duda and Corey Christensen going at it. Christensen's actually going to get around him. Now Hartman's got his sights set on the number 7 of Ed Morris to put him a lap down. Ed's all the way up to 14th from where he was running outside the top 20, so he's made up a little bit of ground. But I think what's more impressive is Hartman's lapped all the way up to 14th in a 1.5 mile track with a caution in the middle of the race. That's a pretty impressive feat.
Indeed it is, and Hartman looking like he's going to pocket home that $350 pending play race yellow. So he's going past the 7 of Ed Morris. Pretty calm,
yeah,
cool collector there.
Went ahead and moved up high. He told Hartman he's going to let him have the bottom here. 2 laps to go for William Hartman in the GTM 67 machine with a chance to win $350 on the line here in the first ever All-Star race. Looking good if he gets to the start-finish line and sees the white flag, Hunter. I think this one might be all but over.
Very well could be. So there's Ed Morris tailing in behind him, but coming out of 4, we're going to get the white flag. One more lap in the Trak-Racer 250, the Extreme Motorsports 99 All-Star race, down to the last lap.
1 to go Studios bringing us our final lap, a look at William Hartman as he races off of turn 2. Down the back straightaway here at Texas Motor Speedway, GTM is running 1st, 3rd, and 5th tonight. They have put on a dominant performance, but William Hartman showing the way for them, and he is going to win the first ever All-Star race in Extreme Motorsports 99 presented by Trak-Racer. William Hartman gets it done.
It's a dominating performance from Hartman.
A Truck Series regular, Hunter. Truck Series regular gets it done.
Beats out all these Cup guys. The 87 car, Justin Michael's going to come home 2nd, and GT Hawkins going to come home 3rd. Those are the other 2 paying positions.
looking for a big burnout here from William Hartman here on the front straightaway. He's probably going to burn it down pretty good, especially if you just won $350, Hunter. I mean, come on now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Brings it down here onto the apron. Lights up the tires here for the virtual crowd here at Texas, but for all these guys watching here on Twitch. Can't thank you guys enough for checking out this race, man. Certainly was a dandy. William Hartman gets it done for the first ever All-Star race presented by Trak-Racer. And he is burning it down and celebrating here on the front straightaway. We're going to get a chance to talk to him here in a little bit. We're also going to get a chance to talk to the top 3 finishers here, Hunter. We got GT Hawkins, Justin Michael, as well as, of course, the race winner, William Hartman.
We had Hawkins on our Field Friday show a couple weeks ago. Really cool guy to talk to. So there you see on the left the biggest movers of the race. We actually have 2 for the top spot. Number 3 of Michael Large. He's up 11 spots since the since the race, and the 12 of Michael Thwaites. He's up 11 spots also in the 9th position, and then up 9 spots going to be the 19 car. Rick Christensen basically started dead last in the field, and he moved all the way up to 15th. So good job from those guys for doing whatever they could. They moved up a ton of spots on the track.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and grab GT Hawkins here real quick. Make sure we can get him up into the booth and get a chance to talk to him. So let me go ahead and grab him up. Hey, GT, man, you got a copy? Uh-oh. GT, it's Jacob up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Hey, so you came home 3rd place in the first ever All-Star race presented by Trak-Racer here in XtremeMotorsports99, man. Talk us through your night and how it went.
Yeah, I mean, I felt fast. It's so tough in traffic, and a couple times I popped the wall, and that just killed my straightaway speed. So last green flag run, pretty much there, I was just holding on and trying to get all I could. But yeah, it was a fun race. It was fun to drive. I'm glad we got to put this deal on here, and it's good for the league, and I hope it becomes a tradition.
Agree with you. I think the All-Star race was a great idea. So kudos to you and Ed for helping put this thing together. Would be cool to see it, every season have a fun race with some money on the line for these guys. I think you guys did a great job setting this thing up here at Texas. But man, congrats on the third place round. I'm so used to you being in the top 2, looking at the Twitch comments too. Hartman, man, one of your guys getting it done. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's awesome. That was goal number 1 for the team, was make sure we get that money and bring it home. So at least we did that. Super happy for Hartman. He ran the best race tonight.
Yeah. I think it's GTM looked really strong out there tonight. You guys had a good strategy to go along with it. Well, congrats on 3rd place finish, man. If you got any sponsors or shout outs you want to give before we let you go here and get a chance to talk to second.
Yep. Thank you to my teammates, GT Motorsports, Butt Kicker, Dita, Button Boxes, Trak-Racer for coming on to sponsor this. Really appreciate them. Extreme, Ed, for doing a great job putting this together. And then all my friends, family that are out there watching, thank you.
Absolutely, man. Congratulations.
Yep. Oh, yeah, and thank you guys. Really appreciate your broadcast, and I'm excited to go back and watch it.
It looked good. I think we had a lot of people down in chat rooting for some GTM guys, so it was cool to have you. And, man, congrats on a good run here tonight.
Heck yeah. Thanks, man. Have a good night.
So that was GT Hawkins, of course, the 3rd place finisher in the number 14. Now we're going to get a chance to up with Justin Michael, if I can find him here. Where's he at? Oh, there he is. I'm going to move him up into the stage room. Hey, Justin Michael, it's Jacob Bell up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Doing good, man. 2nd place finish here in the All-Star race. I'm sure probably 1 spot short of where you wanted to run, but man, talk us through your night and how you were able to get it done.
Yeah, I tell you, when we got caught there a lap down, that just put us behind the ball. So it was just playing catch up the entire race after that. So I think if that would have went green the whole way, I think we would have had a really good shot at it. But it's just one of them things, and nothing you can do about it. 2nd place is good, won some money, so no points to really care about tonight. So
yeah, of course, with the points not being on the line, we saw some aggressive moves being made, some aggressive strategy. I gotta ask you, man, how in the world did you get on pit road so cleanly for that last stop? I couldn't get over it.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard him call it that he was pitting, so I better go ahead and go so he doesn't get that far ahead of me. And I thought he slowed up way too much, and I just cut to the inside of him, and I realized I was going to start speeding, so I just locked it down. I going down the pit road the entire time, I thought I was going to have to come back in. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it pulled it off.
Well, hey, it worked out for you. You're able to jump up into 2nd and then hold those guys off with a really good run, man. congratulations. Is there any special shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Just everybody out there watching. Thank all the sponsors: Exceptional Wildlife Removal, Trak-Racer. Use coupon code JW Racing for 5% off. Grip Engineering, JW Racing, Rick Motec for sponsoring the league, and guys for calling an excellent race as always.
Awesome, man. Congratulations. I appreciate the kind words, and we'll see you sometime soon here in the future.
Thanks, sir.
That was Justin Michael finishing second here in the All-Star race. Now we got to get to the fun part. We get to talk to William Hartman, our winner of the first ever All-Star race here in the Extreme Motorsports 99, getting it done. William Hartman, it's Jacob Bell in the booth, man. You got a coffee?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Hey, man, you got it done. You went out there and you just laid it down and were able to capture the victory. 5.5 seconds nearly over second spot, man. You look strong tonight. How'd you get it done?
Yeah, man. It was a fun race. Really, really fun. I didn't feel too confident going into the race, honestly, and I feel like there was a couple guys who were probably a little bit better than me. I just was fortunate to get that early track position. That first caution really mixed things up with some of those guys who pit, and we stayed out and were able to inherit the lead. And then my teammates there, with us being all lined up, it wasn't quite as dicey as maybe it normally would be, and so I was able to save quite a bit of tire there at the beginning of that run, and then that kind of propelled me onwards. And we never really got another caution to re-rack it, so just worked out really well. I was very fortunate to be able to have that clean air. I think that was the most important thing tonight. So just really happy to be able to capitalize it and bring it home for the team.
Yeah, you looked good out there, man. I saw you running with Garrett Grant. A few words got exchanged on the radio. I listened in on that. I saw you weren't too happy with the block, but you understood it once you kind of talked it through. So kind of talk us through managing the lap traffic there at the end, and especially, someone like Garrett Grant who was super fast all night long, just getting trapped behind you.
Yeah, I knew Garrett was really, really fast, and it had to have been frustrating for him to be in the position he was in. So, I understood. It was just a little bit of a surprising move more than anything, and it caught me off guard. Once we kind of, laid it out there, I don't hold any ill will towards him. I'd probably be doing the same thing if I was in that position. So, no big issues. And then there towards the end, really just trying to manage the gap behind. So. Kind of let him go at that point, and he had a couple positions he could go pick up anyway, so it kind of helped both of us out. So just trying to manage that gap and try and keep it in the lead.
Yeah, I understand that completely. I think you guys worked it out like you said there at the end. So here's the most important question of the night: How's that $350 gonna sound in a few minutes here?
Oh man, it sounds great. It didn't have the best day in the world today, but it sure got a whole lot better tonight. So that's awesome, and I can't thank everybody who came on board to sponsor this race. It's really, really cool that we get to come out here and race for that kind of purse, and kudos to everybody who stepped up and put money towards that, and for putting together this race for us tonight. It was a really, really fun event. Really interesting to see the group of drivers that we had tonight, kind of the best of the best from each of the series mixing together, and we see that we can all go out there and put together a great show and run 100 and some laps green. So really, really fun event, and I'm extremely thankful that we were able to go out here and do it.
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations. Is there any special shout outs you want to give before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, thanks to you guys for putting together a broadcast for us tonight. That's awesome. You guys do a great job week in and week out. I'm loving watching those late model series on Sunday night. So I'm really happy that you guys are doing that. And then everybody at GTM, we got an awesome group over there. I think we got 3 of the top 5 tonight too, working together and trying to put one of those GTM cars in victory lane. I love all the guys over there. We got a great group. And Butt Kicker, D-Dub Button Boxes, both of them coming on board with us again this season and sponsoring the team. So can't thank them enough as well.
Well, congratulations, William, and have some fun with that money, man. I think you'll enjoy it. And it was awesome to watch here tonight. So one more time, man, congrats, and we'll see you back here. I'm sure sometime in the future.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
That was William Hartman, Hunter. We kind of talked to our top 3 there. Everybody seemed pretty happy to be finishing up front in the money, so that was a good thing to hear, and just an awesome race, man.
Yeah, it was. You see our race recap there, presented by Extreme Motorsports. We've only had 1 caution for 4 laps. And then after that, it was basically William Hartman from that point on. But
yeah, he laid down the law, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. Another one that basically laid down the law, but was stuck a lap down was Garrett Grant in the 24. So you see, he had the fastest lap. He was stuck a lap down, but he was racing with the leaders the whole rest of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough break for him as we take a look at our finishing results presented by America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan. The Track Racer 250, William Hartman, of course, comes home as our winner. Justin Michael second. GT Hawkins in third. Michael Larch finishes fourth. And Darren Bruce rounds out our top 5 here tonight.
Yep, and then 6th through 10th, it's going to be Rob Haynes, David Elliott, Bryce Senesac, Michael Thwaites, and Pierce Moffitt.
Finishing 11th on tonight's All-Star event was Dennis Weeks. James Shanewolf comes home 12th. Garrett Grant raced his way back up to 13th. 14th was Ed Morris, and 15th was Rick Christensen.
16th through 20th is going to be Jim Duda, Blaine Doyle, Mike Rominger, Matthew Robinson, and Douglas Newbigging.
And then rounding out our field here tonight, Tyler Hallman finishing 21st. Justin Lemke, Brendan Book with a late race speeding penalty, and Sebastian Taylor rounds out our 24 cars we had in tonight's Extreme Motorsports 99 All-Star Race presented by Trak-Racer. Again, thank you everybody who was down in chat and watching along with us. It was truly awesome to be able to put this race on alongside Harold and Hunter here tonight. Thank you to all the sponsors who helped, and thank you to all the subscribers we got tonight, especially Dawson gifting out an extra sub. We appreciate that and appreciate everybody who tuning in. And Hunter, you got anything you want to add before we go ahead and wrap things up here?
It was great, not only from the Open, but to the All-Star race. It was great to see the best of the best in Extreme put it out on the line.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in. For Harold and Hunter and myself, we will catch you guys here next Sunday night for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series as they return back to their regular season action. But until then, we will see you all later.
What an exciting race brought to you by One to Go Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers. We'll see you at the next turn.